Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the McDonCast, the funnest podcast in town, the only podcast around.
Well, Sam,
welcome back, everybody.
The town has had no podcasts for 8 months. What have they been doing?
It's been a long and cold winter
in the
McDonCast land.
So, okay, brief recap.
Doesn't it have a canonical name from the D&D session? What was the name of the place that was?
You came up with the name if there was one.
I'll have to pull up the lore that I made for that one D&D session.
So, brief recap. We got really busy. Our last episode that went up was the Halloween episode all the way back at the end of October.
And we did record another episode, but the audio broke, and we
recorded a couple audio. We recorded a Christmas episode like we do normally every year, but it was kind of messed up and I couldn't really edit it. So we scrapped it, and then we recorded a normal episode last week. Normal, good episode, 2 hours. Perfectly good comeback episode.
Just a
great
solid
topic.
Normal episode.
And then I put it in the editing software, and an hour in, the audio of Sam just cuts out. It's gone. It's lost. So
that's very good.
I didn't feel like posting a podcast episode that was just me talking to no one, quite literally, for an hour. So now we're back. It's mid-February, a little bit later than I thought we would be doing this, but it's fine. We ran through a bunch of news stories last week from our time away, and we haven't been able to discuss them. We probably will never discuss them now because I don't want to. We already did talk about it in real life.
I think the biggest one is probably the Star Wars leadership changing.
Which honestly, I think we can touch on. We have a story about Disney corporate leadership in today's episode anyway.
Yeah, we can kind of group those all together.
So yeah, we're back. Hopefully for good. I mean, we did record an episode last week. It just got deleted. So
yeah,
we're back. Hopefully on a steady pace. We're going to talk about some fun news stories from the past week and a half. Sam, do you want to tell the people what those are?
Let me give you guys the one and only, the McDonCast official.
That's right.
A brief rundown.
That's
all right, so we're the only podcast.
Yeah,
so we are the podcast. We're just that's it. I don't even know why we branded it because we should have just called it the podcast. Anyway, we got some updates on whatever's happening with the Game of Thrones stuff. They keep saying they're going to make stuff, and then they make like one of the 9 things that they greenlight. We are going to play. We're going to play throw the dart at the board and see which one they make this time. Release dates for movies are moving around as they do, but not the ones you think. In fact, it's the ones that you don't care about at all. We got a new CEO for Disney.
That's right.
And other Disney leadership changes, I guess.
That's true. Yeah.
Movies that won't exist. Cinematic universe continues to expand.
Several
always love it when
this week.
When we get more installments in that. Deadpool 4 is in the... we know. And then Super Bowl trailers. We got lots of Super Bowl trailers, and we got like 2 that matter. So let's get to it.
That's right. We're going to start with all these trailers because there's so many of them. Some of these from the Super Bowl. Some of these just released around then, but the companies didn't want to pay $8 million or whatever for a Super Bowl spot. So
yeah, you know what? I'm tired of that. That's lame. If you're going to put a trailer, put the whole trailer. Stop making me go on my phone and click the thing. Just give me the trailer. You can afford the trailer. What are we doing? Why are we doing this? This is stupid.
Yeah, the dumbest one was Minions. Minions got a new trailer, the third Minions movie. And the actual spot during the game was like a 30-second clip of a minion running around. And then it was like, trailer online now. Universal was broadcasting the game on the network they own, NBC. All of their trailers they got to play for free. They didn't have to pay for ad spots, but they didn't want to put any of the actual footage in the free trailer they got. That makes no sense to me. We get a dip. We good?
Yeah. There's a little bit of a lag spike going on, but now my computer's just
it just hit me.
freezing. Hello.
This is good quality content.
Can you hear me? Now, Mike, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hello?
Okay.
Oh.
This might be a performance thing, not a Wi-Fi thing. Hang on, I'm cranking up the fans on my computer.
Oh.
Give me 1 second.
Nothing cooks a computer's hardware like running Discord.
You know, you'd think it wouldn't. All right, let's go
Anyway.
into manual mode. Crank those fans.
Sam,
Okay.
did you
Anyways.
watch the actual Super Bowl, by the way?
Me and some friends did a little get together, and it was on in the background
Okay.
while we were like hanging out. So like I caught a good amount of it, but I was not actively
It wasn't.
watching the game.
It was not a great game, so I wouldn't be surprised. Viewership
Yeah,
was
I
down
noticed
this
that
year a few
By
percent.
halftime, there was like 9 points scored in total, and I was like, "This is really lame."
Yeah, the Seahawks were the brief, very brief football tangent, but the Seahawks were like the best team all year, like very clearly, so it made sense for them to get there. But the Patriots had like the easiest schedule of all time, and the team they were supposed to play in the championship to get to the Super Bowl, their quarterback broke his ankle in the final 2 seconds of their last game the week before. So they got to play a backup that game and just trounced them. And so the Patriots were kind of like, they honestly didn't deserve to be in the game, but they kind of lucked into it. So they got kind of wiped, like their pants wiped, pulled down. They were exposed. Wasn't a great game, but there were a couple trailers. I mean, I guess we just talked about Minions, Sam. Minions 3, titled Minions and Monsters, in theaters July 1st. Do you care about this?
I guess
It's gonna hit a billion.
not really.
It
We
doesn't
did
matter.
superheroes. We did superheroes last time. Now we're doing monsters. I
Was
guess.
that, what? Last one was Rise of Gru. What happened in that one?
No. No, remember they.
Despicable
I'm thinking
Me
of Despicable
4.
Me
Despicable Me
4.
4 was the superhero.
They had
Minions.
super. Okay, there. Let's not pretend that.
No,
these are
they're the
different
same.
things. The last Minions was superhero Minions.
Okay,
And
well,
there was a laser one, a rock one, and
Right.
a stretchy one, and
We-
a flying one.
we did superhero Minions. This is Minions, and they fight monsters. We did Purple Minion. We did.
Hmm
I guess what's left is Minion in Space for number 5.
No, that was in the first Despicable Me movie.
But like Minions. Oh, Alien Minions. That's next, right?
Is that? How do we do that?
There's
Did
aliens.
minions evolve in space? They're not aliens. They're from Earth.
Yeah, but aliens show up and they just happen to also like basically just be minions. But they're
That,
green.
okay. We could do something with it, especially since he's part of the Earth
Anyway.
Defense League or whatever.
This movie is set
okay.
in the 30s. They're in a, which is a retcon, by the way. Yeah, don't think about that.
How was that a? Oh yeah.
Don't think
Yeah,
about
that is
what
a
the
pretty
minions
big
were doing
retcon.
in the 30s.
There was nothing going on in the 30s that
No.
the minions would lore-wise have
to be involved
with.
in. But they're like working in Hollywood and they're making like a classic monster movie, and then they summon a real monster and hijinks ensue.
So is
It's
this
gonna
more
be
that these are
another-
like other minions that were not trapped in the
cave.
cave?
I would assume. I was gonna say I would assume they're gonna explain it. I don't think they will. I think they're just gonna act like that.
Does
never
that
happened.
canonically imply
Yep.
that the Hollywood producers
In the
are
1930s,
more evil than Hitler?
than Hitler and Stalin and everyone else.
And
running around
every
at that time.
guy from World War One and Two.
Yeah, I guess no one's
I-
worse
yeah,
than
well,
Louis
I
B.
guess,
Mayer. No, I honestly, I don't even. I think they're just gonna pretend that the audience doesn't remember that, and the real
well, they
audience for
don't.
These movies
The
is
audience
6,
doesn't
so
know.
they don't care. Yeah.
No, we're the only ones who know. It doesn't matter. I don't really have any thoughts about Michael. It's the Michael Jackson.
All I'm
biopic
gonna
movie,
say
you know?
is it's gonna make a lot of money, and it's gonna cause. There's gonna be ample discussion about it on Twitter for like 3 days.
It will make much money.
Yeah.
It will cause much a stir.
I can't wait
and
for
then
that to
it will be
reignite
much-
the Michael Jackson conversation among everyone.
Yeah.
That's great.
Devil Wears Prada 2, I think, did set the record for the fastest views on a trailer.
It
but
was
I,
the most. It had 220 million cross-platform views in the first 24 hours, which was, and they specifically noted, the biggest trailer launch in the history of 20th Century Studios,
So
but not 20th Century Fox. So only within.
I would have
since-
imagined that would have been Star Wars.
Yeah, so post Disney acquisition. so like post 2020, which makes sense because they haven't really.
Is
made
it
anything.
post Disney acquisition or post brand name change?
It was post Disney acquisition, so bigger than Avatar, bigger than both the Avatar trailers, which is interesting. But 20th century, I mean, they haven't been doing a whole lot. They really
just basically just Avatar and Star Wars.
Bigger trailer launch than Ella McKay though, so they can.
Wow,
they can
now
brag about
that's wow. Okay.
Okay. Well, quick question: do you know people who are aware of this, who like are fans of this movie?
No, I know of. No, I don't think anyone I know.
Okay.
Would. No, maybe like my coworkers might.
This feels like a coworker movie.
But that's it. Like, I can't think of anyone else who would care about this at all.
I think it's a millennial thing. I think this is slightly older than us.
We talked about The Adventures of Cliff Booth briefly before we started recording.
Which, if we're watching the Super Bowl and we're wondering what the Brad Pitt thing was, that's what the trailer was.
This.
This was a trailer for The Adventures of Cliff Booth, which, if you aren't aware, is the sequel spin-off to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino's 9th movie from 2019. This takes place 8 years after. This is going to follow Brad Pitt's character from that movie off on his own little adventure in Los Angeles in 1977. David Fincher of Social Network and Fight Club and Zodiac and Seven and all those movies is directing this. Quentin Tarantino wrote the script. So this is not Quentin Tarantino's next movie. He just wrote it. He was going to direct it at one point. And
according to his own made-up rules where he's not allowed to do it, he can't do
it.
He can only ever make 10 movies.
That's right. The rumors were...
if you don't count Kill Bill as 2 movies.
Which he doesn't. And, he doesn't count it. And also, he at one point was going to make a Star Trek movie that he was just not going to count because he didn't feel like it. But then that got canceled. So now he's just back on the buddy. But apparently he was basically like co-directing this. He was on set every day and like sitting in a chair next to the monitor and giving notes and stuff. So honestly,
which is interesting because he also doesn't usually do, with the exception of Kill Bill, really, he doesn't usually do like just straight up sequels to stuff.
No, this is his only thing to get a straightforward continuation. He has alluded to his movies all taking place within the same world, but he has never had like a character from one of them show up in another one. It's also interesting because he is a big proponent of shooting on film, and David Fincher famously shoots on digital. And then also, I think it's just strange that he's letting.
Is it shot on film?
No, it's shot on digital, but they've put a million film grain filters over it.
They've made it look very grainy.
Yeah, they've made it look very grainy. I think it's also interesting that he's just letting someone else direct a script he wrote, because he feels like such a. He did that. He used to do that back in the 90s, but I feel like
he's kind of a control freak guy.
Yeah, I feel like he's way too much of a control freak to let that happen. But I guess he just straight up he's just refusing.
Maybe he really trusts David Fincher. He's really into his style.
He says David Fincher's the second best living director next to himself.
I bet he does.
Yeah.
Takes place 8 years after Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is where Cliff Booth comes from. It's coming out soon, probably.
Netflix spent $200 million on this somehow.
I believe it. That's probably how much did the movie cost?
Oh, on the movie, the movie cost $200 million. No, the trailer.
Yeah, so that's this.
They probably paid 8 to 10 for the TV spot.
Yeah, that's still like a no, that's like a sixth of the whole budget.
But for a movie that's not releasing in theaters, that's still kind of crazy. This is going straight to Netflix.
Doesn't. All right. Yay. Okay. You talk about one of these. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick.
Okay. Scream 7 got another spot. This is the closest movie to actually coming out. This comes out February 27th at the end of the month. Pre-sales for this have been apparently really good. It'll probably do really well and make a lot of money. It is kind of wild that we're at the point where a horror movie like Scream is getting a Super Bowl spot, where they're paying, again, $8 to $10 million, which for a movie like this is like at least 1/4 of the whole budget. But that is just kind of an interesting place now that we're in a movie-going world where horror movies are such the dominant genre that they even are getting Super Bowl spots. In terms of my personal anticipation for this, very low. Don't really care. Obviously, a lot of behind-the-scenes controversy, but hey, Kevin Williamson's back.
Yeah,
That's
I missed
fun.
this trailer completely. What is happening in this one?
He's just running around stabbing people. It
So
doesn't
we're just
look
abandoning
good.
the
I thought it
storyline
looks
completely?
bad. I don't think this, like, visually, this movie looks bad to me. Anyway.
Didn't they bring back another guy from an old Scream movie?
They're bringing back every... There's going to be some AI commentary and some people's voices will be back who are dead or you think are dead. It's going to be some of that stuff. Disclosure Day got a new spot. I will say, looks good.
I think I did see this one, I think.
Shot
But
of
I
the
just
UFO
had nothing.
coming out of the cloud. Looks sick. I'm very hype. Obviously, new Spielberg. I'm on board. He's been kind of cooking in the last couple of years. Under discussed hot streak from Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, I did see this trailer.
Any thoughts at all? I thought this was a kind of a missed opportunity, though. Because NBC was broadcasting the game, which is owned by Universal, I thought they could have done something a little more clever and like, because in the trailer for the movie, there's the aliens like interrupting the news broadcast. I thought that would have been cool if they would
You could have done
integrated
that.
that into the Super Bowl, but they didn't. It was just a traditional trailer. Again,
This movie just isn't doing anything for me. I just like. Don't care.
I saw this again. I was watching this game with my friends, and this trailer played, and they were like, "Eh." And they saw the trailer also played when we saw Marty Supreme, and they were like, "Eh." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm."
Like
It's gonna flop.
It doesn't seem to be moving the needle, sci-fi wise. Like, it's giving me Arrival, Interstellar, like that kind of like.
Both very good movies.
Yes, but I'm saying like, it's a big space mystery. We gotta figure out the space mystery. It's a space thing, and this regular guy he's gotta fix the space thing, and there's a girl who's gonna explain all the space things for most of the movie, and I don't.
And there's a little girl who's gonna have a magic connection with the aliens.
Magic connection to one of the space guys, and I'm good. And also, Project Hail Mary is coming out, and that looks
also got a new spot.
Very similar, and has just much cooler. Like, I'm much more interested in that.
Okay, well, here's another thing. Sam is our normal guy correspondent. Does Project Hail Mary, do you sense any motion among the regular people? Because this is a big swing by Amazon MGM. Interesting.
No one I know is talking about this movie, but
it's still
I have
a
a feeling.
Away, so we're not.
I have a feeling that once it comes out, it'll get some more eyeballs. I don't think it's going to get a lot of attention. Yeah, I think word on the street is going to help.
Word on
the
street is very good. Like, it's really good. People are talking in the industry with no.
I saw they got a Lego set. There's a Lego set that goes with it.
I am currently reading the book. I'm about halfway through the book. The book is great. Like, the book is really, really good, and I know no one reads books anymore. There's like 12 people who buy books, but I know it's been a bestseller for like 4 years since it came out. So
I still have to finish Dune Messiah. I'm still doing that.
Yeah, this year in movies is like the year of homework with Project Hail Mary and Wuthering Heights and Dune Messiah and another trailer that we got for Super. No, it's too close. I thought about it for a minute, and then February rolled around, and I was like,
I would rather read any other was it Charlotte Bronte?
It's Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights.
There's too many Brontes.
There's two Brontes, and Emily Bronte wrote one book, and it's Wuthering Heights.
Well, I'm not reading it.
Too old.
I don't care.
Too old.
No, I'm not gonna see. I don't even think I'm gonna see Wuthering Heights, to be honest. I don't care.
Oh yeah, you are, because we're gonna talk about it on the podcast. It's gonna make a lot of money, so. You can either I'm going to give you an option. You can either see Wuthering Heights, you can see Goat, or you can see Crime 101. And you got to pick one of them.
What's Crime 101?
It's the crime movie with Chris Hemsworth. He plays a robber or something.
Honestly, out of those three, I'd most like to see Goat, to be honest.
Sam's a Steph Curry fan.
I mean, it's like, I want, if the Spider-Verse team makes a Zootopia movie, so like, that could be interesting.
They've been throwing that around on all the marketing. It's the animation company. It's the same company that made Spider-Verse. It is none of the same creative team
But the
at all.
animation is like crazy. Like
it's a
like I've seen
similar
the trailers.
style.
The animation looks
Yeah.
fantastic.
Okay, let's move on from these
Anyway,
spots.
any other Supergirl had a trailer.
Oh, Baby Crypto was in it. That was
It
the
gave
only
me
thing.
nothing, and the fact that they're showing this
yeah.
Baby Crypto is making me very concerned.
This movie, I don't even think it looks terrible. I just think it looks fine, and I don't think anyone's gonna care.
I think they're trailering it wrong. I think the trailers are not helping. I think this was a misstep.
I think this movie might have been a misstep, or at least this movie now.
Oh, this movie is definitely a misstep.
I think
this
we're too early to be doing this.
This entire DC plan past Superman has been a misstep, and we've ranted about this
Right.
plenty. But going straight from Superman into Supergirl is a bad idea because, sorry guys, no one cares about Supergirl. She's never been a big character.
Well, I think
You could have totally done a
Yeah.
Wonder Woman if you wanted to
right.
do your next leg up with a woman character. Batman should have probably been the next step, but isn't.
You're right.
Because they were supposed to make a
Because it's
Batman
not
movie
ready.
this year, and whether or not they do is
No, it's
still
next
up
year
in
now.
the air.
Next year is Batman.
And there's a litany of other more popular characters that you could have. Again, doubling up on Superman for your first two movies is, I think,
Well, and
a
then we
misstep.
have Man of Tomorrow next year, so we're doing basically 3 of these.
We're
straight
tripling down on Superman.
to start. It's not even like, even if we had just swapped this and Clayface, that I would have even supported because you need a little bit of a break. We rolled straight in from the
Totally forgot Clayface was even coming out this year.
But we rolled straight in from Superman, which the entire marketing campaign for that was cute dog. And we rolled straight into Supergirl, which is running the same marketing campaign to a T of look at the cute dog. Like people are
And Clayface is not going to help. Doing a spin-off movie about a Batman villain, it's probably going to be good. All the signs are pointing to it being good, but that's not a good place to start your universe off.
But honestly, Clayface coming out in the Supergirl spot in late June, I think Clayface would have had a better chance to succeed than Supergirl does. Because Clayface,
I think it's about the
Clayface
same.
would have been a lower budget, and it at least could have played, because it's a horror movie and it's supposedly rated R, that's playing to a slightly different crowd than every other big summer blockbuster that Supergirl's competing with, of like, it's right
Yeah.
after Masters of the Universe and Toy Story and Disclosure Day, and it's right before The Odyssey and Spider-Man and Minions. Like all of these movies that are going for basically the same audience, it's sandwiched right between all of them. Clayface, you could have maybe at least played to like, well, this is for adults, older teens, it's got the horror element, it's smaller, it
Yeah.
doesn't need the giant screens to make its money. Like even if they just swapped those two movies, that would have made more sense to me.
When is Clayface coming out? October?
It's coming out in October, which makes sense. It's a horror thing. You can tie into Halloween. But like Supergirl, I mean, this movie should have.
And that would have given Supergirl time before Avengers.
This
and
movie
Doom,
should have
which would have been its other.
This movie should have
It's
moved
a-
up
it's
to
real
May. I
competition.
don't know why this isn't coming out in May. May is like pretty barren. They put Mortal Kombat in May, and they put this in June, and they put this in
Yeah,
June.
and I think we talked about this
Yeah.
on our last episode. Although we obviously we didn't post that one, but yeah.
But they put it in June because they were scared of Devil Wears Prada. I'm sorry. The majority of the Supergirl audience
That's not a problem.
It's
Yeah.
not an overlap. Let's be real. It's not going to be mostly women. It's going to be mostly men, like every comic book movie is, except for Wonder Woman, which was the exception once 10 years ago when it was like 54-46 male to female.
And that was the
ratio.
good Wonder Woman, not the terrible one.
And that was the only time that ever happened. Even Captain Marvel was like a 66% male audience. Like it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
And
where
I
we're
would
at.
say this in terms of like vibe is probably much closer to Captain Marvel than Wonder Woman.
Yeah, because it's space person and look at all these crazy creatures.
Space girl goes and fights space guys, except for instead of where in Captain Marvel where nothing happens for most of the movie. Presumably something will be happening in this movie.
I literally put a gun to my head. I couldn't tell you one scene in Captain Marvel.
She talks to the old lady who taught her how to fly planes inside the computer.
I remember her crashing into a Blockbuster video,
And Coulson's there.
And Coulson was there, and he didn't look like Coulson because they put too much CGI on his head.
And Stan Lee was on the train.
Right, he was on the train. He was on the train, and he was reading the Mallrats script. That's the only. Those are the only things I could tell you about that movie. She was angry. I remember her being angry a lot.
Talos is there.
Was that the villain?
No, he was the Skrull who was secretly the good guy.
Oh, Talos was there. Right. They were.
And then Mads Mikkelsen shows up again in the secret invasion show.
And I blocked that out from my memory, and we're never talking about that show.
Is it Emilia Clarke or Emily Clarke?
Emilia
Game
Clarke.
of Thrones.
Hey, 3 years since Secret Invasion came out. When do you think we're seeing?
Hey, dude, where?
Kira.
Do you think Gaia will be in the fight pile,
Absolutely.
or do you think they're just gonna delete her?
Well, props for remembering that the character's name was Gaia. No, I don't think they're gonna ever reference her ever again. She's gone.
No, because I thought Gaia was conceptually like a cool idea for a character. It's just that it's just definitely
she's never coming back. They're never gonna mention a single thing that ever happened in that show, like ever.
Well, except for Nick Fury existing.
I think it's up in the air whether Captain Marvel is even coming back.
No, she'll come back. No, she'll come back.
I think the only one who's guaranteed.
What else is she doing?
Brie Larson?
Yeah.
Oh, nothing. But I don't think it's that. I think
she'll be back.
The Marvels flopped so hard that I don't know.
Yeah, fight pile.
The only one who's guaranteed to come back.
I'm pretty sure Iman Vellani is even in it because she's talked about it on whatever social media.
Yeah, but people like her. No, there are no Captain Marvel fans.
But she can suck some of the joy from Iman Vellani to keep herself alive.
Captain Marvel can show up for like the action sequence and punch some stuff, but she'll never get like
she's got to show up and punch stuff. Yeah.
And then Tiana Taylor, Photon Spectrum, whatever her name was, has to show up.
I mean, she has, because
they trapped her in the X-Men dimension. Remember that, everybody?
I remember that. Okay.
That was 3 years ago.
That was 3 years ago.
No follow-up.
Yeah, we talked about that before too. It's like, remember when the MCU used to like follow up on their like
on anything they ever did?
Yeah.
Power Broker.
We've gone
Power Broker, Sam.
5 years ago. How many installments have we gone without following up on a previous installment? Doctor Strange didn't even follow up on the one from the original Doctor Strange.
What was that? That was Mordo.
Yeah, Mordo being evil at the end.
That was 10 years ago. So it's been 10 years since follow-up on that.
They did follow up on the Loki post-credits scene from the show.
They mentioned that Baron Mordo was Doctor Strange's nemesis in Doctor Strange 2. So
only in another dimension,
they've been... Yeah, but Doctor Strange is like, in my universe, he's my mortal enemy. So presumably they've had adventures between movies that we just haven't seen or heard about.
Sure, yeah, maybe. And then... The Black Panther one is never gonna get followed up. Unless we do some time skip shenanigans, that's just not gonna be
with the baby Black Panther.
Yeah.
No, I think that will get followed up in 3. I think they might.
We'll have to do a time skip,
but I think that character will appear again.
Oh, you know what? We could Lloyd from Ninjago him.
I think some Secret Invasion will just be 20 years old.
He gets hit with an age potion, and now he's the right age to fight crime.
Because I don't trust Marvel, but I think Ryan Coogler, if he wrote that in that movie, and he's coming back to do 3, I think he's got a plan for it.
The spirit, what is the Black Panther spirit's name?
The Panther? Like in...
it has a name, remember. Like the deity, whatever. The Black Panther god will be like, you're 20 now. Go fight crime.
See, I'm just trying to think what were the last things. Do you count Fantastic Four as following up on the Thunderbolts one? Because I don't.
I guess it does, yeah.
But it's
the Thunderbolts one is just that, they're called the Avengers. And then in the Fantastic Four, that's the Avengers.
The Thunderbolts one is the Fantastic Four ship is like coming into their dimension. And then everyone was like, oh, right, okay, that's going to happen at the end of Fantastic Four.
No, I guess not, but like, we do know that is...
Presumably those are just scenes from Doomsday, so...
Yeah, that one I trust will be fun. That one I don't really count. I'm talking about everything else from Phase 4 from before Thunderbolts, because that's after the rewrite.
Or
that's after the
redo,
the reset.
Or 6? We might even be in 6.
No, because Phase 4 is the multiverse stuff, and it ends with
we're in the multiverse saga, which is phases 4, 5, and 6. So I think we're in 6 right now. They should ditch the phases. Ditch the phases thing. No one even knows.
I don't know about that.
Google it. I'm 90% sure I'm right. What was the post-credit scene at Deadpool? Did it have one?
Deadpool did have a post-credit scene.
Was it just a
I do
goofy
not
one?
remember what it was.
I don't know if it was a plot thing. It might have just been a goof.
Okay, we are in phase 5.
Are you sure?
No, we are in phase 6.
That's what I thought.
Fantastic Four is the only movie in phase 6.
And the Avengers.
Along with
And
Blade,
Spider-Man.
Avengers, and
Blade's never
Armor Wars
coming
and
out.
Shang-Chi.
Armor Wars is never coming out, and Shang-Chi is never coming out.
And also, technically phase 5 isn't over yet. Wonder Man, Daredevil Born Again, and Ironheart also are part of phase 5. So technically we're in phase...
Oh, Wonder Man is phase 5?
Yeah, so technically we were in phase 6 and we've regressed to phase 5.
Well, I think Daredevil season 2 they're going to count as just being in the new phase. But Wonder Man was shot, I think, during phase 4. So
yeah, so we have regressed a phase. It would seem.
This is impossible to keep track of. This is so
And then
expensive.
phase 7 is just the untitled
Well, do you want to
X-Men
briefly
movie.
touch on? Let's just wrap this whole story together. So, do you want to briefly touch on the rumor that they're going to split Secret Wars into 2 movies? So in total,
I
there'll be 3
have
movies?
heard this quite a bit.
Yes. What do you think of
Isn't
that?
this what they said? Didn't they already? Wasn't this already a thing previously? Like,
So-
I recall Secret Wars being Secret Wars Part 1 and 2.
No.
And then later they retitled Secret Wars Part 1 to Doomsday.
So they were originally the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, and they were going to come out the
Right.
same year. And then they put them a year apart, like Infinity War and Endgame. And then Kang Dynasty became Doomsday. So it was going to be Doomsday and Secret Wars, and they were going to be in back-to-back years. Now
Yes.
the talk is there will be Doomsday, and then next year will be Secret Wars Part 1, and then the year after that will be Secret Wars Part 2. So we'll get 3 Avengers movies in 3 years in back-to-back Christmases. Which would make sense for Disney, because Disney does not have another Avatar movie scheduled until 29. So they would get an Avengers movie in 26, 27, 28, and then they would get another Avatar in 29, and that would fill out their schedule for the next 5 years. Apparently the whole holdup with this idea is that they would have to extend the actors' contracts because they're only under contract for the 2. So they'd have to pay Downey another like $75, $100 million to do a third movie.
Yeah, but presumably you're budgeting for a third movie at that point anyway.
Right, they would have to budget for a whole, but they'd have to get Downey to agree to come do 4 more months, 5, 6 more months of filming.
Well, are they debating splitting Secret Wars into 2 movies or filming a third Secret Wars movie?
Splitting it into 2 movies, but they haven't started shooting it yet. And if they
Instead
did,
of shooting Secret Wars?
they haven't. And once they do, if they have a plan for it being 2 movies, they have to pay the actors to do 2 movies, even if they're shooting it at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it really matters, to be honest.
I think that would be a really bad idea. I see no way that doesn't.
I think it would dilute the event. They'd be Star Warsing themselves. They would be like kind of overdoing it again, which they just course corrected on not that long ago.
Well, and I think you could get the interest in this franchise is already in decline. I think you could summon enough goodwill to get everyone to show up for the first one, and then it ends on a cliffhanger, and then most of them will come back for Secret Wars and be like, "I gotta see how this wraps up." You do
another
3,
cliffhanger?
you get them to come back the second time, and then they're like, "There's another cliffhanger, brother. I'm out. I'll wait for Netflix," and then they just leave. Especially because Doomsday is, let's be real, probably going to be really bad. So
I think it will be fine. I suspect it will probably be about as good as Fantastic Four.
I think-
which was like, I guess it's fine.
I think it being fine is honestly the worst case scenario.
No, because it just needs to ride.
No.
It just needs to ride into Secret Wars.
But-
That's all it needs to do.
But if it's good, people will be like, "Oh, Avengers is back, Marvel is back." If it's terrible,
No, see, that's no longer an option. Even if it was good, people are not going to care. Like, even if it's actually great, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's so cool, it's so good," everyone's gonna be like, "Yeah, but I've seen too many Avengers movies, and I just don't care."
I still don't. I think people who are sick of Marvel movies dominating the pop culture conversation keep saying that no one cares about this, kind of speaking it into existence. when those trailers start to come out and it's Robert Downey Jr. and it's Chris Evans and it's Chris Hemsworth and they're all on screen and it's all these characters, the interest is going to be there. Like I expect it. I know it's going to happen. Everyone is going to at least be morbidly curious.
I suspect that the feeling going into it will not be affected by the movie. So if people see all these characters that they already know and like, and then they go and see the movie and it's all these characters they already know and like, they're going to be like, oh, it's all these guys I already know and like, it was awesome. Or they're going to be like, well, I don't care about Marvel movies, and then they just won't care. So like I don't think that the movie's quality really matters that much. Like the vibe will be set before the movie comes out.
Deadpool, that exact thing worked though. Deadpool, that movie is not very good. Deadpool and Wolverine is what I'm talking about. It's not very good.
Yeah,
but it threw a bunch of stuff you recognized, and so the audience was like, "This is great," and it made like $1.4 billion.
But that vibe had already been decided before the movie came out. Like no matter what the quality of Deadpool was going to be, people already saw the trailers and already decided, oh, I like this stuff. I like this movie. Like the movie itself did not affect people's enjoyment of the movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so you think as long as just like, hey, look, it's
we will pretty confidently know before the movie comes out, once we get some more trailers, once we hear some more discussion, whether or not people are going to like the movie. Yeah.
The whole plot's going to leak. We're going to have another No Way Home.
If it hasn't already, I'm pretty sure it has.
You can probably find it. Everything leaks now. But anyway, speaking of Deadpool, Kim Masters at Puck revealed in some reporting about the whole Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively saga that's going on that I have zero interest in whatsoever.
I just don't care.
That Ryan Reynolds is apparently focused on putting together a fourth Deadpool movie right now. That's his number one priority.
Obviously. Guys, I want to turn the money printer on. Does anyone have a problem with me cranking the money lever? Guys, I want to get a crew together to pump the money lever, and it's really hard, so we got to get a crew to pump the money lever.
Come back and pump the money lever again, Hugh.
Money lever, come on, buddy, money lever.
No, I mean, obviously, this is only news because when Deadpool Wolverine came out, he was like, I don't know if I'll do this again. But everyone was like, "You all know you're gonna do this again." As soon as the opening weekend Thursday night preview numbers came in, you were doing this again.
Dude, he's retooled his entire personality around this character.
He's retooled Rob McElhenney's entire personality around this character. He made a second version of himself.
Yeah, they're gonna do more Deadpool for a million years.
What would you want out of a Deadpool 4? Personally, I would like them to go back and make a proper sequel to Deadpool 2 instead of doing
that. Would be nice. Yeah, continuing the Deadpool story. I mean, honestly, I don't know a whole lot, or even if there are very many like really popular Deadpool book like runs.
The only famous Deadpool story arc is Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, which I would never ever want them to do.
They would never. That maybe could be like an animated thing, but that would never be.
That should have been a What If episode.
That should have been a What If episode. Dang, Too bad that show is really bad at deciding what to do.
They only had bad ideas and then it got canceled because no one watched it because it was terrible.
Yep. Man, if only that was the easiest layup ever and we just fumbled for no reason constantly.
They didn't even just fumble. They like smacked themselves in the balls with the basketball and then rolled off the court.
No, they decided to play with a hammer instead. And they just killed their quarterback.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Some movies that won't exist, Sam. Your favorite saga, your favorite ongoing film franchise. The movies that won't exist.
Let's go. My favorite.
We got three new entries. You're going to love at least one of these. The first one is that Rockia Media and Crystal City Entertainment, two companies that I double-checked are indeed real, they've acquired the film and television rights to the Chia Pets IP. They are planning on a, quote, vision of building an animated feature film or animated series. So they're not quite sure. And then another quote, this was their statement upon the acquisition. The Rockia Media and Crystal City team is actively exploring strategic partnerships and collaborators to fully realize the commercial and storytelling potential of the Chia Pet franchise. What can you do with Chia Pets? The little clay things you put
best
water on
case scenario.
and stuff grows out of it.
Best case scenario. We make a 2D animated children's TV series out of this. And we release a line of toys that have nothing to do with the original toys, because those suck. And
I'm sure they were a lot of fun in 1962.
We just do My Little Pony, but we do it with hedgehogs instead.
And
that is the best.
They're all clay.
Best case scenario version of this. No. I'm saying we scrap the original toys altogether. Screw Chia Pets. They suck. We're just gonna call them Chia Pets, and they'll just be like other things. They'll be like plushies or like little vinyl figures or something else. We're not doing that because that's dumb.
I mean,
that's dead in the water.
It's safe to say that this is literally never happening, because what do you do with this?
Or
I don't think you could pay me. I could not come up with a single viable film idea for this property.
I got one. I got another one.
You got one?
I have another one.
Okay.
Yeah. We do what is it called? We do Gremlins. We do Gremlins with a Chia Pet.
But they don't have like arms or legs, and they don't.
There's a magic store, and the kid finds a little clay hedgehog, and he takes it home.
Right.
And he puts it on his windowsill, and that night he spills water on it, and it starts to come to life, and he comes to life, and he's got magic powers, and his family's going through a real tough time. And this magic hedgehog helps his family figure out their struggles, and then they figure out, they work out their problems, and they don't get a divorce, and they get their car payment worked out, and then the family goes to the kid's soccer game, and the kids are like, "What's that little hedgehog in your backpack?" And he's like, "Don't look at that. This is a secret."
And then the government comes and tries to get him, and then it's E.T.
No. That's the sequel.
Oh, the whole movie is just the fixing a parent's divorce. There's no
it's
fun
just Gremlins
kids plot stuff.
It's like Stuart Little.
No.
It's like Stuart
When
Little.
you're pitching Gremlins without the part where all the gremlins break loose and wreck the town, it's just the part where
Yeah, I'm thinking we
attic.
take Stuart Little and Gremlins and we combine them. That's really, I think, the best case scenario. We do a My Little Pony knockoff. Second to best case scenario, we do this weird, stupid family movie with a magic hedgehog. That is, and we have maybe not a hedgehog because Sonic is still a popular thing. Maybe we pick a different one, but the hedgehog is the only one.
It has to be hedgehog, because it's either the hedgehog or it's Abraham Lincoln's head, and it can't be.
Could be Bob Ross's head, I guess. Maybe.
Well, you could do a fun thing. Here's an idea.
What if he gives advice? Wait a minute.
No.
What if it is the Abraham Lincoln one, and he gives like advice in these trying times?
Well, Sam, what if he's got a bunch of them, and they can be little cute animals? They can be Abe Lincoln, who's got cool advice. And
I think we've got to pick one. I don't think we can do more than one of them.
Hold on. We got multiple, or the shop can have more than one, because then we can have celebrity cameos, Sam. Pop cultural.
Sabrina Carpenter.
Look,
hedgehog.
It's Batman Chia Pet, and it talks like Christian Bale.
Well,
Batman.
Okay, no, because we can't. We don't have the money for Batman. We don't have Batman money for this. This is not the Lego movie.
What?
This is bobbleheads at best.
Look, it's Patton Oswalt.
We can maybe get like a C tier baseball player, one pop artist, and then like a voice actor that's been in like a couple anime.
We got Aaron
that
Judge
maybe kind
and
of
Katy Perry. Look.
We could probably get the guy from Five Nights at Freddy's. He does everything. He'll just do whatever.
Right.
We can get him, and we'll put Pedro Pascal in it too. He'll be Abraham.
Well, it'll just be whoever's on the studio lot the day that they're shooting the scene.
Yeah.
Damn.
Next thing.
You might have to explain this to me. Story Kitchen, a company dedicated to adapting video game franchises for the screen, but have yet to produce, I believe, a single set adaptation. They have acquired the rights to turn the Roblox minigame Steal a Brain Rot into a feature-length film. Story Kitchen co-founders Johnson and Goldberg said, quote, "We're thrilled to bring Steal a Brain Rot to the big screen." And then they said, Nubini Pizzanini 6-7.
Yeah. Okay, so
What is this and am I dying?
Let me translate. So, You, I assume, are familiar with Tung 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 Sahur. Yes?
Is that the Italian brain rot club thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's
I hate
that
that
guy.
I
So
even knew that.
there's all those guys. There's like I think Tung 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 Sahur is probably like the most famous one. And then there's also like Bambuzini, Guzini. There's hundreds of these things,
Are
right?
any of these real words?
There's Tralalero Tralala. He's the
Okay,
shark
so
with
no.
feet. Well, they're like amalgamations of French and English words sometimes. Most of them are just all French words though. Or Italian words, sorry, not French. So Steal a Brain Rot was originally a Roblox game.
Right.
I have only ever seen the Fortnite version. I haven't played the Roblox version.
So much going on in that statement.
But they're the same game. They use the same assets and everything. Well, I'm getting there. So the way the game works is there's like a conveyor belt that these different brain rot characters will just spawn on. You go and you grab one, and it starts walking over to your base. Everyone else on the map has a chance to steal it from you by paying a higher price than you paid for it as it's on its way to your base, and it usually walks pretty slow. But once it gets in your base, they can still steal it, but you have a lock to your door, and that will unlock every 30 to 60 seconds, depending on how leveled up you are in the game. So you're all stealing these little characters from each other, and they generate money that you use to buy more of these characters, and you just try to get as much money as possible. Does that make sense?
Okay.
The actual characters themselves don't matter at all. They're just names that you associate to the money-generating devices. Like the more popular ones, I guess, tend to generate more money for your base.
So it's like
But
it's kind of like Monopoly. It's just about accumulating wealth.
You just want to accumulate wealth. You can't lose,
And the
really,
brain
though.
rot
I mean, you can
characters
just...
are superfluous. They don't actually they're just avatars.
Yeah, so, for example, your starter base holds 8 characters, right?
Right.
Let's say you steal a dolphin guy. I don't remember the dolphin one's name. You steal the dolphin. The dolphin generates you $500 a second, right? So it'll be generating money passively. Whenever you go into your base, you collect it, you lock your door, you take the money you got from the dolphin, use it to buy a coffee cup. Then he walks over to your base. Oh no, someone stole it. Someone grabbed it while it was on your base. You whack that guy. You steal it back. It goes back to your base. Now the coffee cup is generating you $1,000 an hour, and then you use those to buy an even rarer guy when he spawns. And you just keep doing that, and you can like prestige, and you can level up the base. So
this is gonna be a
the game gets more
feature
complicated.
film.
Yeah, this is not an adaptable property. This doesn't make any sense to be anything. There's no story. I will admit it's a fun game because it's fun to like steal the things from your friends, and you can like screw them over, and you can like go into there. You can team up, and the game itself is fine. It's just not. There's no story at all. It's like a party game.
I think this is, and I'm not joking, this is a money laundering scheme. These guys who have purchased the rights to this game, what they're going to do is they're going to go around to all of the studios and all these production companies, and they're going to go, hey, give us money to develop the script for this movie. And then all the executives at all these companies are going to be like, what is this? And they're going to be like, oh, it's a Roblox game, so kids are going to be really into it. You're not going to understand it, but trust me, this is really big with the kids. And all the production executives are going to be like, I guess we got to trust them. I know what Roblox is. And then so they're going to feed them all this money, and they're going to spend a bunch of it developing the screenplay, and it's just never going to happen. I don't know why confetti just went. And it's just never going to...
MacBook.
And it's just never going to happen. And then the project will die, and nothing will ever come of it. And they'll just have pocketed like millions of dollars from Amazon.
So, Steal a Brain Rot averages about 500,000 concurrent players at any given time.
What?
Yeah, so about 500,000 people are playing this game at any given time. That's on Roblox. That's not counting other platforms with the same game.
Did you know that almost like no elementary school students are reading at grade level?
Yeah, I believe it. Because they're probably
They're playing
Steal
Steal the Brain Rot. I guess they're learning economics. Is this a plus side?
I guess
Can you even
maybe.
adapt this? Can you even use the Brain Rot characters
So,
legally? Are they in the public domain?
I think it depends on the state. Some states will not allow you to copyright AI-generated content. Federally, there is no laws about this, and the current administration seems to be unwilling to regulate AI in any capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be doubtful that any would, save for maybe some kind of Supreme Court case. And that I don't even know how that works. Every single AI copyright suit has been settled so far.
Could Story Kitchen, this company, could they get a couple artists to like make official drawings of all the Italian brain rot characters and copyright those and then own the characters?
You could probably, if you changed the names maybe, but that's like basically the whole thing, so I don't even know what that would be at that point. I assume they're kind of just public. I mean, this is like making a...
Well, they also... It's very explicit in this announcement that they do not own the rights to the Roblox part. They only own the rights to the Steal a Brain Rot game concept. So...
Let me see how the Slenderman rights work, because it's probably... That was also like an internet creepypasta before it was
anyone can use that.
A movie.
I don't believe... I believe it's just out there. The guy who made the original...
Let me look that up.
Post might have rights to it or might have had it at some point. Sony made that movie. But yeah, that is a good question.
Okay, so the rights to Slenderman are owned by Eric Knudsen.
Is he the guy who made the game?
I assume is the guy who made the game.
So the film and television rights were bought by someone. So yeah, it was the Eric Knudsen. Yeah, so it was the guy who made the original like post on Reddit.
But I don't know if there is anyone credited with creating the brain rot characters.
Well, someone did at some point.
Many of them were created by different people.
Yeah,
but they were also AI generated.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if the person who generated them has any claim to them either.
Well, I don't think anyone knows who even originally did do that, because if you asked, probably 500 people would claim to have
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if there's no real way to prove at this point where that came from. So.
I say just do it and then wait to get sued. Ask for forgiveness, not permission.
I guess so. But this next one, so No Banini Pizzanini is one of the brain rots that you can put in your base. And then 6-7 is another one, but
I know what 6-7 is. I've been alive.
In the game, it's a 6 and a 7 with eyes, and he's got hands that just do this all the time.
That's incredible and hilarious. Sam.
I bet it is.
Legendary Pictures live-action film version of Gundam has landed distribution at Netflix. Sydney Sweeney and Noah Centineo will star. Jim Mickle, who worked on the Netflix series Sweet Tooth, will direct. This is going to happen. This is real. It's going to Netflix. Sydney Sweeney in a big robot. She's going to be in a
Is
tight
it even
outfit.
possible for Netflix to adapt this in a way that doesn't look horrible?
Well, most Netflix movies look pretty bad, so I would say probably not.
Because I want you to think about the amount of budget that would be required to make a Gundam movie that is not awful.
Oh, well, they'll spend a lot of money on it.
Just visually.
Okay, you could make a good-looking Gundam movie for probably $130 million. Netflix...
What's the Pacific Rim budget?
Netflix could spend $300 million on the Gundam movie and it would still look bad. So it kind of varies. Now, this is being made by Legendary, who made the Dune movies and the Kong Godzilla movies and the upcoming Street Fighter movie. Netflix is just distributing it and presumably co-financing it. I'm not sure. Probably they are co-financing it.
Let me do some quick maths real quick.
Sam's
I need an inflation calculator.
Put it into the compute
So this is what I estimate the minimum budget for...
Are you adjusting the Pacific
a-
Rim budget in 2013 for inflation?
Yes.
I think it was like
So-
150
It was $190.
Oh.
So
million.
$262 million bare minimum to make this thing look good.
If Netflix will spend $320 million on the Electric State and $200 on the Cliff Booth movie, they'll spend $250 million on this. Sydney Sweeney's probably getting paid a fat sum to do a Netflix movie.
I doubt it. Honestly, I doubt it. She
No.
she hasn't done anything to warrant a big price tag.
Brother, The Housemaid made like $320 million in theaters.
That's the budget of this movie.
No, she's gonna get paid very well, especially because it's a Netflix
She's
movie.
only done The Housemaid is her biggest success.
And Anyone But You. She just throws
And
those
Anyone
up
But
there,
You.
and her fee goes up.
But those are the type of movie that she does well in, and this are not the same movie.
Her agent can take that to Netflix, and they'll go, she's not going to get any back end because this isn't going to theaters, so give her all of her money up front. And so pay her $25-30 million up front, and then they just do it. And they're Netflix,
Yeah.
so they'll just
And then
spend.
who's the Noah Centineo? What did he do? I know that name. I don't remember his face.
Yeah, he was Adam Smasher in Black Adam, and he was in the
Adam
To
Smasher
All
is
the
from
Boys
Cyberpunk.
movies. No, he's the Adam. Like, remember, he shrinks and he gets really big and he smashes buildings. You remember the movie Black Adam?
Yes.
And
What
then
else has
he
got
was
on
also
his
in
face?
Warfare last year, which I know you didn't see.
What's a thing that I would know his face
I'm
in?
thinking Black Adam's probably the only movie you've ever seen.
I don't remember how he looked in Black Adam.
Okay, well, just Google him if all you need to know is what his face looks like. You're in front of a computer.
I know the name. I just... Oh, wait. Yeah, I've definitely seen this guy.
Yeah, he's one of the, like, pretty boy Netflix, like, young adult people.
God, man,
Oh,
I
he's
do
in the
not
upcoming
remember this
Street
guy
Fighter.
at
I
all.
believe he's Ken. I believe he's
He's
going
playing,
to be Ken.
He's playing,
He's going to play John Rambo next
playing
year.
Rambo. Yeah.
Young Rambo.
Okay. Yeah, sure, I guess. I can tell from the casting what they're going for here, and it's gonna flop because I don't think they understand what the Gundam audience is.
They're gonna try
at
to
all.
make sexy Gundam for the
They
young people.
think that if you add boobies to Pacific Rim,
Right.
it will make more money. What they
Well,
haven't
it's Netflix,
accounted
so
for at all
generate viewership.
is the
number.
fact that Gundam is a very complex war drama,
It's not anymore.
and this is not that.
This is
and
not
so
that.
this will probably do pretty well, but it will not please the audience
This will
of
do
Gundam
fine.
at all.
It's gonna be like the Kong Godzilla movies. They'll turn it into just like dumb action schlock, and it's gonna be on Netflix, so everyone will watch it because it's free. And yeah, I mean, and everyone will forget about it in a week and a half. If we're being real.
Yep.
Okay, Sam, let's talk about what everyone really wants to hear. And that's about various corporate reorganization and hirings of people you've never heard of until this week.
This is the real meat and potatoes of the McDonCast.
So, Sam,
At this point, if you guys are still watching the McDonCast and you're not here for the corporate reshuffling, and what are you doing here?
Bob Iger, CEO of Disney, who I feel like most people probably know now. He is...
Do they?
Yeah, he's a fairly known figure.
Ooh, I think we know who he is.
He's at least a top 5 most famous CEO.
Maybe.
Who's the top 5 most famous CEOs? You can't say Donald Trump.
I mean, he would be number 1, though.
Okay, but I'm not counting him because he's technically in name not involved with the Trump Corporation.
Okay, then Elon Musk,
Right.
Mark Zuckerberg,
Yep.
Jeff Bezos,
Mm-hmm.
Tim Cook.
Yep. Isn't he also stepping down?
Maybe. There's rumors,
I
but we
heard
don't
that.
know.
Okay, so it was a rumor.
And then
Probably Bob.
I feel like even Larry Ellison is a bigger name right now.
No. People know Bob.
I don't.
Bob was also on TV all the time, and he's been CEO of Disney for 20 years. So everyone.
No. Kylie Jenner.
Okay, we're not. No.
Kylie Jenner is probably.
No.
You have definitely heard more people talk about Kylie Jenner than Bob Iger.
She's
a
not...
million%.
I'm talking about CEOs of companies who people know, not famous
She
people
owns
who
a
have
makeup company that is worth over $1 billion.
Not famous people
You
who
said
have a clothing
billionaires.
line. Okay, no, we're not doing that. Bob Iger...
Even Kanye West even would rank higher than that. Jay-Z ranks higher than that.
Again, these are people who are famous who own companies. I'm talking about people who own companies that...
They are billionaires. The
That's
people
not
I
what I
just
was
listed
talking
off,
about.
with the exception of maybe Kanye
That's
West
not what I
now,
was talking
are all
about.
billionaires.
Okay,
You said top 5 famous billionaires.
Moving on. Sam. Bob Iger, he's been CEO of Disney since October of 2005, and then he resigned and retired in 2020 and was replaced by Bob Chapek. And then Bob Chapek did such a terrible job and ran the company to the ground and dropped the stock price so low that he was fired. And Bob Iger had to come back in 2022. And then he's been the CEO for the past 3.5 years. And part of his job...
By the way, the stock price has not really
It's
recovered.
continued to go down. But people seem to like Bob Iger more, so they were fine with him. And part of his job while he came back was to find the true successor, because the last true successor turned out to suck. And he has deemed Josh D'Amaro, who is the current Disney head of parks and experiences, as the next CEO. It was a long search. There were several candidates. The number 2 and the person who people thought it was going to be for the longest time was Dana Walden. They did not go with her. She was the head of television. And Josh D'Amaro was the head of parks. They promoted the parks guy. And Dana Walden...
Yeah, it is about 2/3 of its peak price right now.
The Disney
compared
stock?
to their peak in 2021, yeah.
Dana Walden has been promoted to chief creative officer and head of all of film and television as a consolation prize because she didn't receive the full promotion CEO. It kind of, I think what this says, and D'Amaro will officially take on the role on March 18th. Iger's going to remain on the board till the end of the year, and then he's going to quit and complain to people about how the company's being run in restaurants until he dies. But D'Amaro being promoted from the parks, I think what that says is that Disney entertainment is not their number one priority, or movies and TV are not their number one priority. The number one priority right now is the parks, which generate almost all of the actual revenue for the company.
And that has been the case for
a number of years now.
A decade at least at this point.
Yeah, probably almost 20 years at this point. The parks have generated...
The only time that I think they really tried to pivot was during COVID, and when they could not operate the parks.
But yeah, so the parks guy's getting promoted. He's also the head of all experiences, which includes Disney's gaming division, which has not done anything in
They have not yet done
years.
it. They are still... Well, wait, does the Indiana Jones game count?
I believe he is technically... No, because that's a Lucas... He is in charge of that, but he's like 5 guys up the ladder on the chain.
Because the Lucasfilm games, I think, is under that.
Lucasfilm Games, I believe, is under Lucasfilm. So Disney
now Contraband.
Interactive...
What's going on with Contraband?
I don't know what that is.
Remember when they announced they were making a video game called Contraband, and they showed us the logo, and then that's all we've seen?
There's no way
that
Disney
was
was
5
making
years
that.
ago.
That was like an Xbox game.
Nope, that was Lucasfilm Games.
No, it wasn't.
They announced it at the same time they announced the Indiana Jones game.
It was once again wrong. So Disney had a game division up until about 2017. Disney Interactive, and they shut it down because they thought people weren't going to play video games anymore for some reason. And then a couple of years ago, they bought that big stake in Epic, and
no, that was Avalanche Studios.
Yep.
That was the Perfect Dark people. That was in the games they just canceled a few days ago.
And then they bought that big stake in Epic Games and started to involve themselves in Fortnite. And Matt Bellany, noted reporter man from Puck, has been saying that Josh D'Amaro has floated hosting events within Fortnite as a way to get the young people engaged with the Disney brand, because there is, amongst Hollywood, on top of the Warner Brothers Netflix thing and the streaming debacles and everything that they're freaking out about, the main thing people in Hollywood are freaking out about that people aren't really talking about is the fact that young people are not engaged at all with Hollywood content. And when I talk about young people, I mean like people under the age of 12. Like young kids are not consuming content produced by Hollywood. They're all on YouTube. So all the companies right now, mostly Disney, which is a family brand and has always been prioritizing like all like broadly appealing 4-quadrant stuff, they're really trying to find ways right now to like get the young kids to be into the Disney brands, most of which are like well over 40 years old, because they haven't created any new IP in 20 years.
Yeah, maybe try making new stuff and then drop the ticket prices by 200%.
Yep, that would maybe help a little bit.
That would help a lot, I bet.
The parks will continue to get more expensive. The thing that put him over the line and got him promoted was the fact that he raised the prices of everything in the parks and revenue went up. So like the board really liked that he raised prices and he didn't lose any customers. So that's the reason. So the prices of the parks will continue to go up. The cruises, all of that, it's not going to get any cheaper. The film and television
get
stuff,
the young people. That's how it is.
Disney's in a really weird place right now because they have fully transitioned out of this old era of Iger and Kennedy and John
We're kind of in a new era for Disney.
Yeah.
Like we're at the cusp of the dawn of a new era.
In the past 2 or 3 years, they've had almost every major one of their divisions had executive turnover. So Iger has gone as CEO. Kathleen Kennedy has stepped down from Lucasfilm and was replaced with Dave Filoni. And
who's the Pixar guy?
Pixar, when John Lasseter was fired for sexual misconduct allegations in 2019, was replaced by Pete Docter. Jennifer Bush was fired or resigned or took a demotion as head of Disney Animation, was replaced with Jared Bush. And then the only real guy left from like the old guard like 10, 15 years ago is Kevin Feige at Marvel. He's the only real division head who's still in place from 10 years ago, which is fascinating.
And I suspect after this Secret Wars, he might
move on as well.
I would be surprised if he sticks around after that, just because I'm sure he wants to do something else at this point.
I think it will be. And Alan Bergman as well, who runs film for Disney, is also new because it was Alan Horn for the longest time, and then he retired. So there's all these new executives in place. The reporting structure amongst all that is going to change because Dana Walden has now been promoted to film, head of all film.
She was the one in the Frozen 2 documentary, right?
No, you're thinking of Jennifer Lee, who at the time was running Disney Animation, but because Strange World was such a failure, they demoted her, and they put the Zootopia guy as head of Disney Animation, which so far
honestly probably
seems like a pretty good decision. But we'll figure out what happens with next. But yeah, so the whole reporting structure is changing. There's probably going to be some turmoil inside of Disney over the fact that a person who's never headed up a movie department is now running all of their film stuff.
Well, I mean, you don't want a guy with experience doing the job. You typically want like someone who's got no idea what they're doing to do your jobs for you.
Well, they gave her the job of running it because they were like, we were thinking about making you CEO, but movies are kind of like second fiddle to the Muppet roller coaster. So, but yeah. So it'll be interesting. Honestly, in terms of what Disney is making and prioritizing, I don't think there's going to be a lot that changes. I think the thing you will probably see more of because of this move is less talk of mergers and acquisitions, which was obviously the story of Bob Iger's whole career.
Well, yeah, there's nothing left to
that was his whole
legacy.
Bob Iger, since he took over in 2005, bought Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilm, and 21st Century Fox. All 4 of those acquisitions were all under Iger's leadership. That is what he will be remembered for, as the guy who expanded Disney way past what was probably its reasonable capacity for what it could maintain. I think what Josh D'Amaro is going to lean more into is the digital stuff, Fortnite events, utilizing AI, which everyone's going to freak out about, but what they're going to inevitably do in the parks and also within their actual production pipeline, they're going to start implementing AI. And then Disney is going to have to start in the next couple of years to try and actually build out new franchises, because it's not even something they've attempted to do in the last couple of years. They've had a couple things here and there. Zootopia is obviously now A-tier franchise, probably maybe even their most important franchise in the entire company.
Yeah,
with how much money
honestly, probably a
Zootopia
flagship at this point.
It's gonna make it's gonna get this close to $2 billion, which is absolutely wild. Avatar, they inherited from Fox, but that's kind of a new property because they didn't do anything with it for like 13 years. And Kanto, they're gonna eventually make a sequel to and do spinoffs and stuff, but they have really not, even especially their live action film department. Their live action straight up Disney film department, I don't think has made an original movie in like over a decade. Like they just straight up, the only thing they do is live action remakes of animated stuff. That's it. They don't do anything else. So they might try to do something. They've tried to like reboot Tron in the last couple of years. Obviously that was a massive mistake. I don't know what they were doing there. Did you ever see that movie?
It's on Disney Plus. I'll watch it eventually.
Even when it's free, say about much Tron Harry's.
I mean, I just
Jared Leto.
They're not going to continue any of the storylines that I care about, so like why should I get invested in this guy?
Oh, and then one final note on what they're going to do, and then if you have any opinions, go ahead. I think you're going to see Disney push even heavier into turning their park brands into film and television brands. So all of what they tried to do in like the early 2000s with the Pirates of the Caribbean, when that was a big hit, I think you're going to see more of that, of like, how can we turn this Disney ride into a movie? How can we make Tower of Terror into a movie? Stuff like that, because he is just coming from that experience. How can we make Epcot into a 10-episode limited Disney Plus series that cost $150 million?
Yeah. Epcot Ball movie.
Epcot
Ball.
Any takes? Anything you have to say?
I mean, these are all like, to me, as far as like entertainment, because like I don't engage with the parks at all, because I just don't have money to do that.
Right.
So like, none of that stuff matters to me. And as far as I can tell, Disney parks have basically been stagnant the last 15 years. Like they haven't done
no attendance is down, but revenue has gone up.
Like even their Star Wars land, they no longer have roaming characters. It's no longer an in-universe set experience. Like they have been actively scaling down the things about the Disney parks that are appealing and interesting to me. So like I just don't care at all.
What if I told you they're gonna build a new park in Abu Dhabi?
Wow. So I don't really, to me, these are all basically untested people.
Yeah.
I know nothing about any of these people.
Well,
they have no track record.
Well, we do have a track record.
We will see what they do.
Dana Walden.
We know Dave Filoni. And we know that guy.
The person, what Disney's TV output has looked like in the past 5-6 years, that will, I would assume, would largely remain the same. Which is interesting, because their TV output has now pretty much just straight up abandoned Disney Plus. Disney Plus does not produce any original content at all whatsoever. All of the original content produced on streaming by Disney is for Hulu, and it's all adult skewing shows, with the occasional Marvel thing, which is mostly leftovers from an initiative 7 years
bygone
ago.
era.
Yeah. So literally, if you look at Wikipedia, or like whoever's keeping track of this, Disney Plus currently produces 3 original shows. Daredevil, which has been picked up for another season, which will come back this year and next year. Ahsoka, which is going to have 1 new season at some point, even though the first one came out 3 years ago. And Percy Jackson. Percy Jackson is really the only original show that Disney is producing for Disney Plus.
Yeah. And I would say we have returned to pre-Disney Plus era Disney TV show production. We have Daredevil is going on.
Right.
Some other random other thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then another high-profile live-action thing based on a previously existing Disney property. Which is basically what we already had. We have a Star Wars, we have a Disney, and we have a Marvel, and we have a third thing. third just
Hopefully,
random thing.
hopefully we'll get an announcement soon that we'll get a fourth thing, and it's the Muppet Show greenlit for a full season.
That would be
Send
pretty
up
cool.
your
We
prayers.
know the Maul show's coming out soon.
The what show?
That's a TV thing. Darth Maul.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I was thinking like, but that's another Star Wars Marvel thing in terms of just like Disney shows made for Disney Plus.
Yeah,
Nada,
it's
nothing.
just
It's just
Percy Jackson.
Lucasfilm and Marvel programming that service.
And Percy Jackson, Hyperion Publishing, I believe, is owned by Disney as well.
Yeah,
So
they
that is
own the brand outright.
That is through and through a Disney property.
And then even if you look at Hulu, most of what programs Hulu is FX, and it's like Ryan Murphy schlock. It's most of it's bad.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, that's right. 8 half-hour episodes every 2.5 years. That's what you want.
Yeah. I mean, those guys barely even want to make the show anymore.
No, I think that show's wrapping up. I think the next season of that will be the end of.
I mean, Danny DeVito's getting.
Danny
up there.
DeVito's like
I
a
don't know how much
90.
longer.
Like, yeah, he's.
I don't know how much longer he can frank around.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's move on.
Do you think we'll get an actual Frank Death episode next season?
Not if he doesn't die in real life.
We've done quite a few like Frank died episodes. Like that's been a thing that they have toyed around with for a while.
Maybe this like the second to last. You know, well,
do you think they have a plan
for how they're gonna end it?
No. For like, if Danny DeVito dies, do you think that they have already agreed on what to do with with Frank in the scenario that Danny DeVito dies?
I don't think they do. I don't think that's a thing they would talk about. Just because like. That'd be like talking about what you would do if like one of the people in your friend group died. Like you don't just plan that. Even if they're old, you wouldn't talk about that.
Yeah, I feel like for some reason they would. Like I feel like one of them would be like, "All right, guys, I have this funny idea, but it only works if Danny DeVito dies."
My theory is that, and I don't think they have a plan for how they're going to end that show. My theory is that they have an idea for what the finale is, and I think they're all going to die in the finale. So I think he would just die along.
I think that would make sense.
Because the whole
I think it would just be that Cricket. I think Cricket just kills them all.
It's Seinfeld on crack, and Seinfeld ends with them all going to jail. So how do you one up the Seinfeld ending? They all die.
Yeah. No, I think the best ending is that all of these characters that they have been tormenting for the last like 16 years at this point form like an Avengers squad,
and they burn them
and then just kill them
in the pub, and they die in the pub.
Like the waitress, Cricket, the lawyer guy.
Right.
There's so many others. They all just unite and like burn their house down or something.
The final episode should be like 17 minutes of just a regular Sunny episode. And then they all meet up at the bar in the end, and then that happens. And then the show just cuts to, and that's the end of the show. They shouldn't even build up to the finale. It should just stop. They should just die.
We don't put the crew together.
No, there's no like moment where they have an emotional connection and then they like reflect on their journey over the past 20 years. They all just meet up in the bar and get drunk, and then they all die. And that's it.
And unceremoniously die.
Yeah, that's what the characters deserve. Anyway, Sam, moving on. You want to play release date shuffle?
Oh, I always want to do that.
M. Night Shyamalan's next film, Shiver, is supposed to come out in October of this year. It's moved to Valentine's Day of next year because it's romance adjacent. Nicholas Sparks helped write it. Do you know who that is?
Who?
Nicholas Sparks. You remember him?
I've heard that name.
Do you know The Notebook?
Yes.
Yeah,
Is
he
he
wrote
the
that
Notebook
book.
guy?
Yes, he's teamed up with Shyamalan on his new
familiar.
movie. Jake Gyllenhaal is the star.
Certainly assembled an interesting group.
It's coming out in the same spot Wuthering Heights is coming out this year, so Warner Brothers is anticipating it being a similar thing.
Maybe working. I don't know what that is, because Jake Gyllenhaal is a notorious weirdo,
right?
M. Night Shyamalan is
Also
a notorious weirdo.
Go together. It's a good
And I know nothing about the Notebook guy other than that he made the Notebook and probably like another
But
thing.
cheesy romance. You know what that is. They have moved that movie to Valentine's Day 27th, so Clayface moved to that movie's old October 23rd spot. It's coming out a little closer to Halloween, goes back about a month, because it was coming out on September 11th. Now, instead, Practical Magic 2 is coming out on September 11th. You hyped for that one? Had you heard of a movie even called Practical Magic 1 until I told you there was a second one coming out?
I think wasn't that a streaming thing?
No, this is a movie from 1992.
No, I don't know what
It's
that
got
is
Nicole
at all.
Kidman and Sandra Bullock, and they're both coming back for the sequel.
Yeah, I got no idea. I got nothing on that.
Well, speaking of old people coming back for a sequel way too late, The Mummy 4. Universal gave it a date. It's coming out May 19th, 2028. It's about 2 years away, which means they're probably going to start rolling on that one pretty soon. David Cogshell is writing the script. Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette, who are also known as Radio Silence, they're going to direct. They did the last 2 Scream movies, but not the new one, 5 and 6. And then they also did Ready or Not and that sequel, and they did Abigail, which was the ballerina little girl vampire movie from 2 years ago, if you remember that. Solid enough track record, those guys. The Mummy 4. Is this something the people want? Is this something you want?
I mean, I'm morbidly curious.
Brendan Fraser. People love him now, kind of. They didn't see the last movie he was in, but they still kind of
no,
like him.
I think I don't care at all about the Mummy.
Remember when he was the
franchise
whale?
in any way.
What if... Well, okay, well,
You need to know!
what if, hear me out, it's The Mummy 4, but Brendan Fraser's character has been replaced with the whale. And so it's the whale in The Mummy 4.
I guess that would happen. I guess
Wouldn't that be
would
fun?
be what it is.
He goes on an adventure?
Yeah, sure. Maybe.
All right, fine.
What are the other Mummy movies even about?
There's a mummy, and then they run around in the desert and do quips and be really sweaty. They're like Indiana Jones, but just with the spooky mummy as the villain. And they made 3 of them. The Rock was in one of them. But what if that? But they're old now.
Wait, no. That was the Scorpion King. That's different.
No, the Scorpion King was a villain in the second Mummy movie, and then he got a spin.
Oh, I thought that was a separate thing.
It spun out of the Mummy series. So he was in 2, and then he got his own series. I have not seen any of these movies. I'd just like to clarify. I will watch them before this comes out. I bought them on Blu-ray because it was on sale, so I have them. Just have never popped them in the Blu-ray player. Sam.
I don't know. I don't care about the Mummy.
The only other thing I was going to say is that this is now going to be the 3rd Mummy reboot in the past 10 years. So we got the Tom
I remember
Cruise
the
one.
Tom Cruise one.
There's another one.
What was the other one?
There's another Mummy movie coming out in April. Lee Cronin's The Mummy. That's a horror. They're trying to reboot it as like a straight horror movie. And then now there's this. So they're going to try The Mummy in like almost back-to-back years. Reboot this franchise that hasn't been relevant since like 2008. It's like Frankenstein. You know how we're basically just making a new Frankenstein movie like every other week at this point? Because it's in the public domain, so why not? We're just going to do that with The Mummy. You hyped for The Bride?
No, not really.
All right.
The one I was most hyped for was the one that came out on Netflix, and I still haven't seen that one yet. So
it's good. You should check it out.
That's what I've heard. I do want to watch. I don't know. It's just hard to keep track of Netflix stuff without Netflix. So I just kind of don't.
I know what you are excited for, Sam, and that is the 11th and final Fast and Furious movie, which. After
the most fast and the most furious.
The most fast, unfortunately not the title. The title is Fast Forever. They officially announced that.
Did they?
After 3 years of being left on a cliffhanger at the end of Fast
Wasn't the last
X,
one called Fast X Part 1?
No, it was just Fast X. This movie was going to be called Fast X Part 2, but I think they want you to forget about Fast X, so they're just like, Fast forever, it's the last one, don't worry about it.
Do you think we're just going to pretend like the last one didn't happen?
For those of you who didn't watch it or forgot, the last Fast and Furious movie ended with the whole crew, except for Dom, exploding on an airplane. Dom and his son driving off an exploding dam because Alan Ritchson and Jason Momoa blew it up. And then Letty, who is Michelle Rodriguez's character, and Charlize Theron left a prison in Antarctica and met up with Gal Gadot, who was in a submarine, who got thrown out of an airplane like 6 movies ago, but is somehow still alive. We don't know how. And then also The Rock was there, and he's going to be back as well, and he's got a beard now. If that all sounds like word jargon, it means nothing, and that's like a lot of just random information, that is exactly how the movie presents it to you, and in the same order.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
I don't think
I'm so excited.
I genuinely want to see how
are they going to write themselves out of this hole they put themselves in?
Yeah, because they killed off the whole cast.
Well,
in a plane crash, and then also put the main character at the bottom of an exploding dam, seconds away from impending death.
Oh, I also forgot to tell you, forgot to remind you that John Cena also blew up as well. His car exploded. So
yes, John Cena's car had a suicide explosion lever that fires rockets at the ground, causing his car to flip upside down and squash itself. And he built it that way. He customized it to do that. So there's that also.
Literally every one of the main characters of the movie, except for Michelle Rodriguez, was quite literally exploding at the end of the last one.
And was the Gal Gadot reveal at the end of the last one, or was that at the end of 9?
No, that was the end of the last one. Yeah.
Yeah, so Gal Gadot is also alive and in a random submarine in the Arctic for no reason. And also the guy who died in Tokyo Drift is alive again.
Right, because he was hiding over there.
He was doing spy work, even though
he was undercover.
Canonically, before that, he was just some guy
who
once knew Vin Diesel,
who got killed by Jason Statham,
then died.
But then he didn't.
Yes, and Jason Statham is still hobbsing and shawing.
I think he was in the last one.
Yes, I think so.
I think
he was in 9, right?
He was definitely in 9.
Because I remember they went to his apartment.
Right.
And he was like punching a guy in a punching bag.
Yeah.
He put a guy in a punching bag and
he
was
had a
punching
car. So basically what happened here is that they were going to originally make Fast X and Fast X Part 2 back to back, and they were going to come out in 23 and 24. And then they made Fast X, and there was all the behind-the-scenes issues with that movie, because Justin Lin was supposed to direct it, and then he was on set with Vin Diesel for 3 days. He just couldn't take it anymore and quit right at the start of production. That's not me exaggerating. That is literally what happened. And then so Louis Leterrier had to come in and finish it. And the production budget way ballooned to like $350 million because they were spending $100 million on the cast alone. I believe, and I'm not sure, you can fact check me on this, I believe Vin Diesel gets $50 million per each movie because he is both the star and producer, so they pay him like $25 million to do both parts. So the budget of the last one ballooned. The director had quit. The writers had quit.
And don't forget The Rock is back too.
Right, and The Rock is back too. Also gets like $25 million per movie, and Statham gets a lot of money, and Cena got a lot of money, which is probably why they killed him off.
Idris Elba's probably back.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Remember he was in.
He was a cyborg. Yeah, he had the power.
Remember when he was a cyborg with superpowers?
Remember when they discovered they could beat him by punching him?
This universe has cyborgs with superpowers.
Cardi B and Ryan Reynolds were in that movie as well.
Cardi B will be there.
Yeah. So basically, the budget balloon, they didn't have a script, so the second movie got thrown out, and it was just kind of in limbo. And they've been trying to get it greenlit for the past couple of years, but Diesel wanted $250 million to make the movie. Universal said you can't go over 200 because that's insane, and the last one didn't maybe even break even because it was so expensive. And so they've been in a fight over the budget for like months at this point. Although apparently they've worked that out.
You know what? I have to give credit where credit is due. I don't think any film franchise is more dedicated to its completely asinine continuity as Fast and Furious. Like, does it make any sense?
No.
No. But they stick to it.
Well,
when they don't really retcon stuff, and when they do,
no, they do it all the time.
But that's the thing is like they fully commit.
Yeah, they don't just be like,
it was
this guy's alive, don't worry about it. They're like, no, this guy's alive, and here's the convoluted BS explanation.
Like they do all the homework to make sure that it like is at least plausible.
They'll go back and they'll go insert characters into scenes from the previous movies that just weren't there. It's awesome.
Like we forget Tokyo Drift takes place in like 2015
but
or
they're
like
all
2014,
using flip phones,
and everyone's using flip phones, and all of Japan is stuck in 2003.
2005, yeah. Apparently, a big thing on how they got the budget down is a lot of the cast is probably going to have reduced roles. And Vin Diesel has also said he wants to bring the movie back to the street level, which makes sense if they're trying to get the budget down. No, I think they will.
How?
I think what they're going to do...
Is the first 10 minutes just going to be they blow up Jason Momoa and then the rest of the movie is about street racing again?
Okay. I think what they're going to do is they're going to time jump from 10. The gang will have gone undercover.
We're going to do time... We're just going to ignore
No, we're not going to time jump.
Movie.
There will be like a 2-year or like a year time jump between 10 and 11. The gang will have gone into hiding from Jason Momoa and his like... Because remember Alan Richardson was evil too and he ran spy... No, hold on. Hold on.
I figured it out. I just unlocked
hold on. Just give me 1 second. The gang will have gone into hiding because remember Alan Richardson was evil and he ran like the spy agency, so he's corrupt. So they'll all be like fugitives. So they'll have to all be like in hiding in Los Angeles, and so they'll all be separated. So Vin will go around to like each one of them and they'll have like a 5-minute scene, but the actual like core group of characters will just be like 4 or 5 of them. That way we can still have everyone show up, but we don't have to pay them all like their full salary.
Here's what I think.
What you got?
All right. One of them died in the plane crash. Doesn't really matter which one.
Okay. Let me think.
And it shook them to their core.
Ooh, this is good.
And the family, for the first time, fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason Momoa kind of won, sort of.
Right.
But then, Paul Walker comes back.
Who Vin Diesel has promised will be in this movie even though he's been dead for 10 years.
And in real life, Vin Diesel have to team up and reunite the family. And then, and they're all, the undercover thing still works. They're all like...
because we got to find a way for most of them to not be in the movie the whole time.
They still teleport around the world with like zero problem or time dilation.
And Vin Diesel can't be in the same room as the other actors because they all hate him, so they have to be able to green screen him into scenes with them all later.
But then they use Paul Walker to remind them that they were family. And family sticks together.
Right.
And then they all get back together and they challenge Jason Momoa to one last race. And then we race across the most dangerous racetrack ever.
Which
is the most dangerous spot.
Is in a desert in California.
No, because that would be easy and normal to film. It's in the Arctic.
Well, no, this has got to be made on cheap.
Arctic race.
This is Fast and Furious on the cheap,
because it's got to be. It'll all be CGI. Obviously, we're not going to drive around in the Arctic.
And the race of the century in a studio in Atlanta.
Either that, or it'll be like they'll like drive across the whole U.S. or something. I don't know. And it's one last race, and they race, and they all together race, and Jason Momoa gets killed by John Cena and The Rock and Vin Diesel and the guy from Tokyo Drift, all at the same time. They all pull their suicide levers and flip on and kill him at the same time, but they all survive. And then, bam.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia for the last movie. One, this had a reported budget of $380 million before marketing. It made $714 worldwide, so this probably lost like almost $200 million the last movie. And then I was looking at the cast, Sam. These are all people who appeared in this movie. Vin Diesel, Michelle Rodriguez, Tyrese Gibson, Ludacris, John Cena, Nathalie Emmanuel, Jordana Brewster, Sung Kang, who plays Han, Scotty Eastwood, Daniela Melchior, Alan Richardson, Helen Mirren, Brie Larson was in the last one, if you even remember that. She played Kurt Russell's daughter.
Why was she?
Brie Larson, Rita Moreno, Jason Statham, Jason Momoa, Charlize Theron, Gal Gadot, Dwayne Johnson, Pete
Charlize
Davidson.
Theron was in it too.
All of these people were in the movie. That's insane. No wonder the cast budget was like $150 million. They gotta kill some of these people off.
Maybe they all died in the plane crash. Problem solved.
No, I think I don't think anyone will die. Honestly, I think they will literally all be back for like the final race.
How do they?
I think what we'll do is we'll narrow the core group to it'll be Vin, it'll be Michelle Rodriguez, it'll be Tyrese, it'll be Ludacris, and it'll be Jordana Brewster. It'll be like the core 5, and then the rest of the characters will like kind of come in and out. We'll kind of fade to the background, and then the main group will go on the core adventure, and then everyone will all drive their cars on the world's widest road in existence at the end of the movie.
Wait, what if we do it on that 50-lane highway in China?
Yeah,
and they have like plenty of room to
then
like,
we can film in China, and they love it.
And the war rig from Mad Max is there.
Sure.
Yeah, and Vin Diesel drives it.
Well, the real question here is that do you think CGI Paul Walker is in the movie a lot, or like shows up for
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
He will be in it, but for how much?
He'll be in it a lot.
You think he'll be in like
this,
the whole time?
He will like co-lead the movie. Like he will co-lead alongside. Because think about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only person that Vin Diesel will allow to have as much screen time as him is a guy who cannot possibly compete with him or say no to what he wants to happen in the movie. Yeah, so he can puppet this guy around, and he doesn't have to worry about like any type of like pushback.
Well, his family maybe, but I think as long as they're compensated financially, they'll be
they're gonna get like $30 million at least from this.
I got another. Oh, do you think they're gonna? Because he died like over 10 years. He died in 2015 now. It's been like over 10 years since he died. Do you think they're gonna age him up, or do you think he'll just look like Paul Walker from 2015?
How much time has actually passed in the movies? I don't think that much time has even passed.
Yeah, but the rest of the cast like looks older than they did 10 years
No,
ago.
but Vin Diesel's committed to his ridiculous continuity. So like he'll be the whatever age he would have hypothetically been if time had progressed as it has in the movie. How much time?
Well, we don't know what the time jump between these two are going to be. Oh, by the way, Fast 11, Fast Forever, coming out March 17th, 2028. So get hyped. 2 years from now.
Fast X takes place in 2028.
These take place in the future?
No. This one takes place in 2023. Never mind.
So yeah, they're in like real world.
So yeah, there were 4 years in between No, there was... F9 takes place in 2021. Fast X takes place in 2023. Yeah, so it seems like they all take place in normal time, with the exception of Tokyo Drift, which takes place in 2014, even though it was made in 2006.
Yep, that sounds correct.
There were 5 years in between Too Fast, Too Furious and Fast and Furious.
Yeah, because that was when the franchise kind of went dormant for a little bit because they weren't really sure what to do with it, and then it became like dumb superhero crap for the next 7 movies. Okay.
And then it was Fast 5, and then Fast and Furious 6, and then The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, and then Furious 7, and The Fate of the Furious.
Moving on.
Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, F9,
Right.
and then Fast X.
There's also like 4 spin-offs in the works that are just also never going to happen, including the Hobbs and Jason Momoa spin-off movie, which they announced 3 years ago and is not getting made. Let's move on. Let's briefly touch on this Game of Thrones stuff. HBO head of HBO Casey Bloys recently did an interview, and so did George R.R. Martin. They did separate interviews with Deadline and The Hollywood Reporter, where they were kind of asked about the Game of Thrones stuff in development. The projects that are apparently in the works to confirm to be they're actively working on is the Jon Snow Arya Stark sequel series, which is being written by Kwok Dong Tran. I'm sorry if I butchered that name.
I thought this was canceled, and then they brought it back.
It was canceled, so that it was originally announced as just a Jon Snow series.
Well, originally they were 2 separate things. There was an Arya Stark West of Westeros thing and a Jon Snow.
Arya Stark was never getting a spin-off show. Jon Snow was going to...
Well, they did a soft pilot for her show.
No, she ran off at the end of Game of Thrones, but that was just where they were sending her character. Jon Snow was going to get a sequel series that apparently, what George R.R. Martin said, Kit Harington just wanted to make a show about a guy who goes crazy in the woods by himself and has a breakdown. And HBO was like, we're not making that show. So that got scrapped. But then they've restarted development about a year ago, and now the plan is we get Jon Snow and Arya Stark, who both had open-ended conclusions at the end of Game of Thrones. We'll pair them up and we'll send them on an adventure, probably away from Westeros. So now that's being worked on as a series for HBO. They're also working on an animated sea snake project that's tentatively titled The Nine Voyages. Gendy Tartakovsky is apparently attached to helm that. He did Samurai Jack and Primal and worked on the Hotel Transylvania movies. And
Don't
Fixed,
forget about Fixed.
which I tried to watch. I saw the first 20 minutes and then I turned it off. I was like, this is maybe the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
I saw the trailer and I was like, I'm good.
No.
I don't ever want to
Awful,
engage with that.
unwatchable garbage. But everything else he's done is really good. So this is a cool thing that we now know that he's working on this. And then a television version of Aegon's Conquest is being written by Mattson Tomlin, who worked on
I believe they had
scripts for the
2
Batman Part 2.
concurrent different versions of this in production at the same time.
So Mattson Tomlin is working on a television series adaptation for HBO that would be live action. And then the Warner Brothers film department is working on a separate film adaptation of the same story, and they will move ahead with whichever one they think is better and more cost effective. I believe what they said was that if it was a movie, it would probably be like Lord of the Rings and be like 2 or 3 movies back to back and not just like one 4-hour thing. Because obviously Game of Thrones stories are very sprawling and have a giant scope and a big cast of characters. So those are the stuff they're actively working on.
Not always.
Not always.
Not always.
Bloys also said that a lot of this stuff is just in development. It doesn't mean any of this is necessarily going to happen. And then he said that their current strategy with Thrones is not to overdo it, and they don't want to have more than 2 Thrones series on the air at the same time. So right now they're doing Night of the Seven Kingdoms and House of the Dragon. The idea with those shows is House of the Dragon is the 8-episode big event television show, $200 million budget per season. It comes out every other year, every couple of years. Night of the Seven Kingdoms is produced for a lot cheaper. It's a lot smaller show.
There's only one more season of House of the Dragon,
6 episodes, and that'll come out yearly. House of the Dragon is scheduled to end with season 4, and that would be in 2028. So then the next big Game of Thrones show would be probably 2030, and Night of the Seven Kingdoms would just continue to run until the creators of that feel like wrapping it up.
Also, I thought Night of the Seven Kingdoms, the first season, is only supposed to have like 6 episodes.
It is. It's going to be 6 episodes, but the idea is that it will come back same time next year with 6 more episodes, and that'll be a yearly show as opposed to the other shows.
Dude, they gotta do
bigger
like
and-
12 episodes of this show.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. That's how they keep the budget down, just make it 6 episodes. They're also, the novellas are really short, so they're adapting the novellas pretty much 1-to-1, and there's not a lot of material.
And just develop it faster. Just do more of just do more of it.
George R.R. Martin says that he's involved pretty much all of these projects, like pretty heavily, except for House of the Dragon, because him and the showrunner of that have a blood feud.
Yeah, he said that they're not talking anymore.
Yeah, they're not on speaking terms, which is interesting.
Which I don't. How?
They got mad beef.
How?
They got mad beef.
Why though? What did they like? What is the? I don't understand.
They just got mad beef.
I don't understand the beef.
But yeah. Oh, also and this is not Game of Thrones, but he commented on some other HBO stuff. So yeah, House of the Dragon is going to end with season 4 in 2028. Then he also said that Last of Us is going to end with season 3. Presumably also next year, because that's gearing up to start shooting in 2027.
Which they did initially say they wanted a season 4, and we were like,
But it
that's
seems
really
like-
dumb. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, viewership for season 2 and critical reception were way down, so it feels like
Yeah, they really fumbled season
wrap
2,
this
and I
up.
don't
You
really
got 6
understand.
episodes.
There's no reason why that needed to fumble that hard.
Neil
They should have
Druckmann
just
has quit the show. It's just Craig Mazin. He's got 8 hours to put a nice
wrap it
tidy bow on this whole thing.
wrap it up.
And then when asked about Euphoria, which is coming back for its 3rd season in April, after
We just got a
4-year
trailer not
gap,
that long ago.
We got a trailer not that long ago. He did not rule out another season of that. So apparently, Sam Levinson has been cooking up ideas for a potential 4th season of Euphoria after season 3. Although word on the street is that Zendaya and him do not get along, and she will probably be killed off in season 3. So it would be Euphoria without Zendaya. Or the rest of the cast who also has quit that show over the last couple of years. I started watching it. I've seen the whole first season.
You've never seen it before?
I didn't watch it. I was putting it off.
Yeah.
Don't
you can see
love
why. You can probably see why I specifically didn't have the most fun time watching the show.
All of the performances are great, and it looks very good most of the time.
It
The
looks
writing
way
is
better than it has
iffy.
any right to.
Correct. It's clearly insanely expensive, which is just insane that any network would bother to spend that amount of money on a teen drama.
Yeah.
Anyway,
As teen dramas go, I can't really think of a better one.
just like ever?
Maybe. I mean, like,
What are you comping it to? Riverdale?
What is it competing with? Yeah, like, what is it competing with?
Well,
like,
okay.
I think literally just Riverdale,
Are you
basically.
competing? Okay. Are you judging Euphoria up against, like, Freaks and Geeks, My So-Called Life, I don't know, any of the other teen dramas?
Buffy
from, like,
the Vampire
Yeah,
Slayer?
Buffy
Yeah,
the Vampire.
like, that's...
Are you comparing it to those, or are you comparing it to other HBO shows? Like, is this... Do you
No,
compare
I'm comparing
Euphoria-
it to other teen dramas.
Do you compare Euphoria more to The Wire, or do you compare it to,
No, it's way more similar to, like,
Boy Meets
other
World.
teen dramas than it is The Wire. Like, the audience... The amount of people who watch Riverdale and Euphoria is way more than the amount of people that watch The Wire and
okay,
Euphoria.
but I mean, if you look at the trailer for season 3, we're out of the high school thing. It's now just a crime drama.
But it
with a
doesn't
bunch of
matter
young
now.
people.
Like, the audience is the audience. Like, they're locked in.
I guess. I think they're going to try to... I think it's going to grow with season 3. I think there's going to be a bigger jump.
Into what? They're just going to be in college.
Well, all of these
and they're
actors are insanely famous now. I think there's no way it doesn't get bigger. Which is also like, how do you keep making the show? All of these people are movie stars,
bums. Yeah.
except for
I
Hunter
know.
Schafer. But I don't know if Jules
Well,
the
you
show.
know, she tried. She was in that one home invasion movie.
Not that she's not working, but just like Zendaya
And
is
what else has she done?
Zendaya's an A-list movie star. Jacob Elordi was like a serious Oscar contender. Sydney Sweeney's starring in $300 million blockbusters. Like, how do you get these people to keep making the HBO show where they all just do a lot of drugs and fight with each other at parties?
I mean, you just do college.
Well, they're not in college.
Like,
They're
that
out of
seems like
college. The time jump is they're out of college for this next season. Did you not watch the trailer?
I did, but I didn't. I wasn't paying that much attention.
Okay. None of them are in college. They're like all. I believe they'll all be like the same age as what the actors are in real life at this point.
Because she owed the drug dealer lady money, and that
Right.
was like something that happened in the last season. So I
She's been
assume
on the run for like 5 years.
it can't have possibly been that long.
It's been a long time.
I guess.
All right, moving on. Sam, do you want to talk about Iron Lung or Wonder Man first?
I haven't finished Wonder Man yet.
Okay.
I am going to. It's very
Good.
good, and I like it so far.
Like it a lot. We'll
but
come back to it, I guess. Let's talk about Iron Lung.
I'm sad that it just kind of got farted out. I kind of wish it got a little more.
People have been saying that. It got a pretty decent marketing campaign for a half-hour, basically, comedy series released in January. Like, honestly, I don't really know what else they could have done with the marketing for it.
I don't know, like
It's just, frankly, not a
something.
big show. Which makes me
Yeah.
have hope for it because it was definitely not nearly as expensive as any other Marvel show they've produced.
I think they have. I think there are rumors that they are thinking about a second season.
I would love a
because
second
of
season.
The success of the first season.
It's like, when I say it's just like a buddy comedy set in the Marvel Universe, it is literally just a buddy comedy set in the Marvel Universe. The show has no villain. At no point is there
Yeah.
There's no big bad guy.
The villain is anxiety. The
It
villain
doesn't
is
end
like
with
the
this-
main character's
Yeah.
mental state.
It doesn't end with like two CGI guys punching each other. There's no stakes. Literally, the whole show is just two guys being friends, and it's great. And it might be the best Marvel show. And I'm not joking.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing it's competing with is Loki, which is also most of the time.
Just a good
buddy
buddy
comedy.
movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a great show. I love it a lot. I really do. And honestly, I wasn't expecting anything going into Wonder Man. But then
No, I expected it to be just absolute slop. I expected it to be nothing.
I didn't think it looked terrible. I was just like, this looks like fine. But then,
Well, I just thought, like, what are we doing? Like, well, this guy's a guy who's like got no real like big stories. A guy who's been in like a bunch of Marvel spin-offs that like we're getting sick of at this point. Like, I was like, what are we doing here? But then I watched the first couple episodes. I was like, oh, they cooked it. They cooked.
well, I watched the first episode, and the show, and I saw in the credits, the show is created by Dustin Daniel Cretton, who co-wrote and directed Shang-Chi and is directing the upcoming Spider-Man movie, who's made some good stuff. But the other co-creator and the head writer of the show is a guy named Andrew Guest, who, I don't know how I didn't know he was doing this. He was one of the main writers on Community, and he wrote some of the best episodes of that show.
Oh,
So I was
okay, yeah,
like-
that makes sense.
So I like Googled it, I looked it up afterward to make sure it's the same guy. I was like, oh, yeah, of course this was gonna be good. This guy like wrote the Remedial Chaos Theory episode of Community. Like, of course he was gonna be good at writing the Wonder Man
At
show. I
TV,
don't know how I
yeah.
didn't know that he was doing this. But yeah, it's really great. I like it a lot. Highly recommend Wonder Man on Disney Plus. They dumped the whole season, which I think was smart because I
Yeah,
don't
you can
think
binge it all in a day.
I don't think it could.
It-
I don't think it would have worked.
Each
easily.
episode is what, 30 minutes?
They're
40
all like a
minutes?
half hour. Yeah, it's a really easy.
Yeah,
fast
you could.
binge.
If you were really committed, you could binge yourself. I think I'm on episode 4 or 5.
Yeah. Did you get to the Doorman episode?
I did, yeah. That was a cool
that's-
episode.
That's a cool episode.
If only we can only dream
What?
that Josh Gad.
That Josh Gad would
mysteriously
mysteriously vanish. But let's talk about Iron Lung. This was the number 2 movie at the box office 2 weekends ago when it came out. This is edited, produced, directed, and written by Mark Fishback, better known as Markiplier on YouTube, the Let's Play Gaming
Yes.
YouTuber. It's based on the video game. of
Who
the
is
same name.
credited as Markiplier in the
On
movie, by
screen,
the way,
yes.
which I thought was odd.
It's based on the video game by a guy named David Zamansky, who is an indie developer. The log line
Who I
goes-
didn't know, but is also apparently an editor on Markiplier's YouTube channel.
Oh, I did not know that. He's
I did
also
not-
got
one of my friends. I haven't double checked that. A friend told me that, but as far as I'm aware, he is an editor for his YouTube channel as well.
The logline is as follows. In a distant future, humans have colonized the stars only for a mysterious event known as the Quiet Rapture to have suddenly caused all stars and life-sustaining planets to have vanished without a trace. All that's left is a few desolate moons and sparsely populated space stations. On one of the only remaining planets, there's a massive river of blood that the humans believe may contain answers to what's occurred, so they send a lone submarine nicknamed the Iron Lung to explore it. Unfortunately, the submarine only contains enough space for one single occupant, guilt-ridden prisoner Simon, played by Mark Fishback. If that sounds like a lot of information I just threw at you at once, that is because that is basically the exact same way that the movie presents it at the start.
They do take their time because they have so much time in this movie. They don't really. There is a pretty dense info dump at the very beginning, but they do a pretty good job of kind of like slowly weaving, like working their way through that information as Simon slowly loses his mind inside the submarine.
I thought it was. Because I knew nothing about... Did you know anything about this going into it? Because I had never...
I knew the very basic premise of the game. I've never watched... I've seen maybe a couple minutes of gameplay of it back when it first really blew up. I knew the very basic premise, that there's an ocean of blood and you're a guy in a submarine and you look for stuff.
I knew that I knew that Markiplier was making a movie. I had never heard of this
I know he's been
game.
making this for a while.
I had never heard of this game. I didn't know what it was about until probably like a few hours before I saw it.
And when I heard that he was making an Iron Lung movie, I was very curious as to like how could that premise possibly sustain a movie?
2 hours?
How do you have one guy do a whole, basically one guy do the whole movie?
The answer, it doesn't. I
thought it was okay.
I thought yes. Kinda.
The first 30 minutes, basically nothing happens. It's basically just lore dump, and you get a general idea for like, oh, this guy's in the submarine, and he's gotta find some stuff. That's his job, and his life sucks. And that's basically the whole first 30 minutes. Once we get more into what's really going on, the film kind of becomes more of a cosmic horror type thing, and that was more interesting. But the way that the movie is mixed makes it really hard to tell what exactly is going on. I was able to figure it out because I realized very quickly that it much like many things produced after the 90s is just Evangelion, but with like one slight change. But it is it's interesting. I do wish we had more time to explore all the stuff that they introduce at the very end, and less time of just Markiplier learning how to act while in a submarine.
Yeah, this movie was produced entirely independently by him. It cost about $3 million, so this was made on the cheap. And what I will say, what I liked about the movie is it looks really good. Especially for
it uses its budget very wisely.
It uses very well. The cinematography is not amateur. It's actually fairly interesting to look at most of the time, and I think they make
they do a feat.
Yeah,
given the entire movie takes place in like one
box.
School bus, basically.
And they do a fairly good job of not making it look dull and repetitive after a long period of time.
Yeah.
The makeup effects, the gore and the blood and all that looks great. Like, it really does. All, like, stuff that I would be applauding if it was from a major studio, even if it wasn't from an independent.
Yeah, like, this, quality-wise, I'd say is up there with, like, Blumhouse's best, in terms of, like, visual.
Like, it looks really good. Like, I was really taken with how good this movie looked. I thought Markiplier himself was honestly not terrible in the lead part. I thought it was very ambitious of him to basically make a one-man show movie, having never acted in anything before, and having it be in a story where he's basically playing off nobody for the entire movie.
You can tell, especially towards the beginning, he was kind of still figuring out the character, because this movie, as far as I'm aware, was in production for about 3 years. So during this time, he presumably, I assume, took some acting classes.
And I would have to think, because of how the set what they do with it as the movie progresses, they probably shot this in something close to chronological order.
Yeah. You can tell his acting is pretty rough in the beginning, especially because he just doesn't really have that much to do. He's not really emoting that much. He kind of is just driving around a submarine.
Well, and his character, and one of my problems with the movie is that he's in one mode the whole time. He's in freaking out. He's in freaking out, he's in confused, he's in desperate. And he's never...
Well, I would say, even in the beginning, he's not even that freaked out. He's just like, I guess I gotta drive this submarine around. It isn't really till he starts finding stuff that he starts to like really freak out.
But I got the same energy from him the whole movie. I didn't feel like we ever... I felt that character's story arc was really, really kind of mismanaged and not structured properly. Yeah. It was really hard to trace, mostly because they don't give you enough information about his background for us to really be able to put together how his character is kind of changing over the course of the movie.
As far as I can tell, the space government told everyone that the Quiet Rapture... Spoilers, sort of, but it's very hard to tell.
The movie does never... I mean, kind of neat of them to never explicitly come out and be like, this is what's going on. But it would have been helpful because there's a lot of lore. But yeah, give us what you...
Yeah. So, the government lied about the Quiet Rapture, at least partially. Not all of the life-sustaining planets and stars were completely destroyed. Markiplier was part of some kind of resistance group that knew this and had access to plants and plant seeds. They were found out, they were arrested. One of his friends was sent on this mission previously and died, presumably in the same submarine he's piloting now, because later on, kind of towards the halfway point of the movie, he finds a seed sealed in resin that his friend had left behind for him, as well as a note kind of explaining some of what's going on. Additionally, the Quiet Rapture was sort of a melding of all of the humans that were on the life-sustaining planets that disappeared during the Quiet Rapture and were kind of coagulated into a single hive mind blood goo entity, which is the blood river that he is swimming around in, and it is actively trying to assimilate him, which we see them more or less succeed in doing at the end of the movie. That's about it as far as the lore goes. Yeah.
Well, okay. My big thing with this movie, that it was entirely a personal thing that I could not get past, is I found the premise to be just kind of comical. It was sort of absurd. Not even the blood ocean. It was just the fact that, like, the movie at the start is like, you gotta buy into the idea that just every planet in the universe is gone, and we're not gonna explain how or why or what that means, or what happened to any of that. You just gotta buy into that. That's like a prerequisite.
I think that is supposed to be what the cosmic horror aspect is.
But that
this completely incomprehensible, unfathomable thing just kind of happened, and humanity doesn't know how to deal with it, so now we're in the blood ocean.
And I get that. That is kind of a scary idea, but to me personally, in order for that to be scary, you got to give me some sort of causation, right? You got to give me anything to be scared of.
I don't even think it's a causation problem. I think it's a stakes problem. I think we don't understand where humanity was at before this event.
Or
so
really
it's
where
very
they are
hard
now.
for us to care about. Yeah, we don't really know where they stand now. We know that we are told that they are on the verge of extinction.
Dying, yeah.
But we don't really see what that looks like. And we don't know exactly what humanity looked like before the Quiet Rapture either. We are told it happened so quickly that, like, no one really had time to react and no one really had time to study it or understand what it was. Sure, that's scary. It would have been scarier if we had some idea of, like, how much it affected them. Because right now we just know they were a big empire, now they're not because of this thing. But since I don't understand how big or how expansive that empire was, I have no way of understanding how big of a deal this big spooky scary event was.
Well, I mean, the reason I say it's a causation problem is because, like, okay, if I were to come up to you and be like, what if all of your friends disappeared tomorrow? You'd be like, oh, that would suck. That's scary. I hope that never happens. But you wouldn't be, like, terrified of that because that's a nonsense premise. Like, that would never, they can't just, like, disappear to nowhere, right? But if I go up to you and I go, like, what if someone one by one broke into all their houses and killed them? You'd be like, oh, that's a scary idea because I understand, like, how that happened. And I understand it's space, it's cosmic horror, it's a lot more elevated. But even if the reasoning behind it is relying on fantasy or science fiction, that's fine. It's the fact that there's none of that. Like, I don't even care if the reason is, like, could never happen. It's the fact that, like,
as far as I was able to glean from the movie, and I was told about some stuff from the game, which, as far as I'm aware, is also canon to the movie. The movie, as far as I know, takes place after the game, and that submarine that is destroyed that he finds is from the game. I believe is what that is.
Okay.
The temple that he runs into is where the god mind thing that assimilated all of humanity was before the Quiet Rapture. And that thing is what ate humanity.
Okay. I might have missed that part because I did go to the bathroom for like a minute. But to be perfectly honest with you, it got to a point about an hour in where the entire movie just became like blood shooting out of the walls and people screaming, and I couldn't hear what the speaker was saying because the sound mix is poor.
Yeah.
Where I was just like, I have no idea what's going on.
Because we know from the black box that he recovers from the other submarine,
right,
that submarine, I believe, had 2 pilots. And one of them had basically succumbed to the assimilation of the blood ocean.
But the box has, like, the definitive answer to what happened, or the way to...
They think it might.
They think it might, yeah.
But he does listen to some of the recording from that other submarine, and there were 2 people on it, one of which was like being assimilated faster and started like eating the blood in order to like join faster in like as part of the mind control process. The other one was kind of freaked out by this, but then also ended up dying. And it had something to do with what they found in that temple that was guarded by that creepy tooth thing.
Right. There's a monster. There's a big monster.
Yeah. Which I believe in the game is just called the Stranger.
But I found
something like that.
I found the plot to just be the plot. There's not a lot of plot. There's a lot of lore, and there is a big difference between the two. Like, not a lot happens in this movie, but there is technically a lot going on, but we don't see any of it. We're told about a lot of it. And not in a way that's overwhelmingly clear. So for me, as a person who has no familiarity with this thing whatsoever, it's really hard for me to understand, like you said, the stakes of what's going on, where we're at, where we could be potentially going, where we were. Like, a lot of that was just a big, very confusing for me. The other thing I will say is, just as a person who was watching this movie, having not known anything about the game, and you can probably verify this, I was watching this, and I could kind of see what the mechanics of the game are.
They followed the mechanics of the game 1-to-1.
Right. Yeah. You're checking off things on your map. You're using your camera, right? You're looking at your oxygen level. And you're listening to the speaker box. I was watching it, and I was like, okay, this is clearly a guy who saw Five Nights at Freddy's was a big thing and, like, made his own version of that. Because it's a guy sitting in a chair, checking his knobs, pressing his button. Like, he has a certain amount of time. Like, I obviously could tell that's what was, like, the thing that sparked this game.
There's a lot of parallels there.
Yeah, like, clearly just in how the game presumably would be played.
Like, in terms of, like, managing your resources in a scary environment.
And in the same way as FNAF, like, I was watching it and I was like, okay, this guy clearly worked backwards as to what the story was. Where he's like, I want to make a game about a guy trapped in a submarine, but it's in a big ocean of blood. Why is he in an ocean of blood? It's got to be in space. Okay, why is he on a planet with an ocean of blood in space? Well, he's looking for an answer to this thing. Like, he was clearly going backwards.
Yeah.
So it got, like, increasingly kind of ridiculous and complicated as he kept going, because he kept having to explain layer and layer and make more excuses for how he got here.
Yeah.
Like, that was very obvious to me how that kind of worked itself out. But that, so yeah, again, the plot to me was just like a lot. And then the other thing was just not a lot happens in this movie. It's 2 hours long, and there's a perfectly fine version of this that's 45 minutes. There's absolutely no need. I don't know I was complaining about there being too much information, but in terms of what we just actually see on screen, there's not enough going on for it to last.
You could honestly cut basically almost everything from the movie that takes place before he gets stuck in the cave system.
The whole second act. The whole second act you don't need. Literally the whole thing. The whole part.
Yeah, but there's like the intro where we where we learn the characters. Then he gets stuck, and then you could have just cut the middle out, and he gets stuck in the caves because it doesn't do it. Like where he finds the skeleton, and they add the whatever it is they add to the submarine, and he gives that random guy cancer. Like none of that mattered at all.
Well, I was like, okay, this is adding to his guilt. He's apologizing for it, sure.
But he already felt bad because he was like inadvertently responsible for the destruction of a colony. So like, it doesn't matter. Yeah,
you don't need that.
That doesn't add to the character that we understand.
And the other thing that doesn't,
it shouldn't anyways.
The other thing that doesn't add is watching him sit in the corner and like cry for like 45 minutes straight.
You can do that a little bit. But they did too much of that.
But yeah, I already know.
And I did really like how we see him like lose his mind, and we see like someone else in the submarine every once in a while. I thought that was really cool.
But again, you can do that twice and it be just.
Yeah, you don't need to do that for 40 minutes.
Yeah, all of that is unnecessary. Because it's again like, if there was a really really strong, if there was a Daniel Day-Lewis-esque level performance. And there was an incredible arc we were taking this character on, you could totally justify having that amount of time at the middle of the movie to flesh him out.
Not even. You just need a B plot. You needed a B plot showing his backstory. Then we could have seen how humanity was before this event. We could have seen more about why he's condemned to die in this submarine. We could have we would have gotten a lot more. We would have solved some of the context issues.
It's funnily enough got a lot in common with Project Hail Mary, the book, and presumably the movie that's about to come out, where we're a guy isolated alone in space, sent on a suicide mission to save humanity from this cosmic, horrible event that's occurring. Right? It's the plot of both of these things. The difference is that Project Hail Mary, the book, we're constantly jumping back and forth between explaining everything, how we got here, background on the character, learning about him, learning about how he encounters the world, learning about how he got involved in this program and why he's the right guy to solve this. This movie...
There's a B plot.
This movie is, we're going to put him on the thing alone, and that's what you're going to follow. And we're going to not tell you anything else to keep it mysterious, but it's less mysterious and more confusing.
I understand why, and it's because they were clearly limited by the scope of what they could do for the budget. And that's okay. That's fine.
That's fine.
It is what it is.
But it does crucially make the story weaker.
It does. It doesn't help the movie, but I understand fully why it's like that.
But I thought he was fine. You brought up the audio mix. It was okay the first 40-ish minutes. And then once they go up into the ship and then they come back down to grab the skeleton, after that point is when I noticed it got increasingly more difficult. Mostly because the music starts to just like really, really pump up, and there's a lot more just like screeching and blood spewing out of things, and there's way too much sound.
Yeah, the more the blood is, the more like ghastly background voices there are. And the ghastly background voices are explaining like crucial lore, but it's tough to make out what there's. I feel like I picked up on it well enough, but that's because I was like really honed in on listening to the whispery background voices. I feel like most people are probably not gonna focus on that, especially since that's happening while he's like trying to fix a thing underwater or under the blood pool that's in the bottom of the submarine. Because to me, that wasn't interesting to me at all. I don't care about watching Markiplier like slosh around in a blood pit. I was much more interested in like what the mysterious voices were saying. So I kind of tuned out the whole whatever it is he was doing, and I was basically only listening to that, which I think is why I'm picked up on more of like what was happening background wise.
Hello.
Oh, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello? 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 Hello?
Hello. Oh,
There it goes. Okay.
talk again. I just need to make sure it's still recording your audio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello?
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, what
Okay.
you were saying about how those voices were providing context, but it was too much noise.
Yeah, so the when the voices were saying all the important lore is when Markiplier was sloshing around in the basement of the submarine trying to pull that thing out. I feel like most people were probably focused on that and not what the weird background voices were saying. Similarly, they also are most prevalent in the end when he's like trying to wrap up the black box and like send it out, and he's getting absorbed by the blood humanity creature. So again, very high intensity, high action scenes, at least as far as this movie goes. And that's when the background noise is the most important. Right. So that's probably why I think a lot of people came away kind of confused as to like what was going on in terms of like the context of the story.
Well, and it also, for me, like a big problem with this was that, yes, this is adapting a video game. Yes, this is a one-man acting performance show from Markiplier. It's his directorial debut. It's all of that. But this movie is also, at least supposed to be, attempting to be a good horror movie. And for me,
yeah,
especially because the third act has that problem, it really is not effective in that regard, because it becomes just this cacophony of noise. And even though the makeup and practical effects are very good, like, that doesn't counteract how little understanding I had of what any of this actually meant or was. And then also, because of that length, because it really feels that length so poorly, there's no tension. Like, this movie is a slog. It feels like you are underwater, just drudging through stuff for 2 hours. Like,
yeah.
I never had that, like, he's running out of time, what's going to happen? Ooh, we got to finish this. Oh, they're going to get him. Like,
well, okay. And they introduced the oxygen tank thing, and it just doesn't matter.
It doesn't pay off. No, because
just ignore that.
Because, again, that was one of the things where it's like, okay, this is clearly a game mechanic that they had to put in the movie, but they didn't know what to do with it. It's kind of the same
even if that was the
map
case,
doesn't really play into it a whole lot either. Maybe a little
bit.
Well,
it plays into it as it like that is a sense of safety for him at first.
Right.
Like, if I stick to this map, I know where I am and I'm safe. And then later on, he's like thrown off the map and he's got to like find his own way. That is the reason for the map. The oxygen tank goes down to 1 tick, and then he just like gets another one back. Because again, as far as I understood what was going on, the like blood was like basically oxygenating the thing for him at a certain point because it wanted to eat him. So that was going on.
Sure, why not? Yeah, I thought this was not great. I would not recommend you check it out. It's kind of interesting.
If you're big into Markiplier or big into Iron Lung, or you just want to see like a kind of an interesting cosmic horror concept piece. If you're a cosmic horror person, you don't get a lot of movies. This is probably going to be cool to you. Like, we don't really get a lot of cosmic horror stuff. This wasn't terrible as far as like cosmic horror goes.
Yeah,
there's a lot of unanswered questions. There's a lot of mystery to it, but that's kind of the point of cosmic horror. So if you enjoy that type of storytelling, you'll probably think this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I was not a fan of this. I thought it was interesting though. Let me. You finish your thought. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, I'm a pretty big. I like cosmic horror. I think it's cool. I liked all of the stuff they did with the cosmic horror element of it, they didn't do a super good job of establishing context for that, but it's kind of hard to tell how much of that is because they didn't do a good job of explaining what they wanted. It's hard to tell what they wanted to explain. Because part of the nature of cosmic horror is the unknown. So you can't explain too much. But it's hard to tell if they wanted to explain more and it was lost in translation, or if that was intentionally something they were hiding from the audience in order to build intrigue.
Right.
It's very hard to find where that line is. And that's probably the hardest thing about doing cosmic horror, is finding that line. And they don't do a super good job of it. But again, I can't even remember the last time there was like a cosmic horror movie. Does Arrival count? I don't even know. So, as far as cosmic horror movies go, this isn't bad.
Count
it's pretty
alien
cool.
Stuff? Like, would you count Alien?
Maybe the first one, but like even then, like they fully know like what a xenomorph is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like xenomorphs are not an unknowable thing.
There's the Quiet Place movies, because they're aliens. Maybe you count that. That's more monster stuff.
That would probably be closer.
Yeah. But
I'm thinking cosmic horror. I'm thinking more like Lovecraft,
in space, like Event Horizon type thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
My one other note was I did find it interesting. This is the second high-profile YouTuber movie we've had in the past 6 months, because we also had Shelby Oaks, the Chris Stuckman movie from October, which not a lot of people saw. I think it made like $5 million, which is like what this movie made, and it's like opening Friday. But they were both a similar thing to me, where they're both not great. They're both very obviously low-budget horror movies. They're both directed pretty well. They look competent. The actors get good performances. It doesn't, like, it comes off as a person has some talent in that regard.
Yeah.
And they both have the same problem.
I think a lot of that comes from them having a vision. Like, Markiplier clearly had a vision for this project.
They both have ideas of what they want it to be, and they have, like, stuff they're pulling from clearly. Both of them, they also wrote the script. And both Chris Stuckman and Markiplier never wrote a feature script before. And the weak part of both these movies is the script. I think as we get more into these, because YouTubers are going to be making more movies. We're obviously headed in that direction.
Especially now.
After this. I mean, I would not be surprised if in the next couple of weeks some studio signs Markiplier to make a movie that costs $15, $20, $30 million. But I think we're going to see more filmmakers of all stars and stripes coming out of the YouTube space, whether they had a small audience and then started working in film.
Shoot, could you count Bo Burnham as a YouTuber movie guy?
Sure, yeah. Bo Burnham started on YouTube, made 8th Grade. I don't know what he's been doing for the past 5 years, but presumably making more movies.
I think he kind of went through like a mental breakdown.
Yeah, but Raka, the Talk To Me guys are YouTubers. We're seeing this more, and this will become more of a thing, because YouTube has been a place and is going to continue to be a place where people who are interested in filmmaking experiment making their first movies is on YouTube.
Because anyone can do it. It's
because
free
anyone
to put
can
a
do
movie
it
on YouTube.
But
we put a movie on YouTube, legally
movie
speaking.
in quotes. But I think what a lot of these people need to be conscious of, and what I would advise them to do going forward, is that they obviously have filmmaking talent, but directing a movie and writing a story are very different skill sets. And like, just because you can do one does not immediately mean you're going to be good at the other. And I would advise them to, like, even if it's their passion project, and if you're Markiplier and you're used to creatively coming up with every video and shooting it and editing it all yourself, and like it's completely your project, like, I understand you want that level of ownership of it, but you have to be willing to get people who have the particular skill set of writing to be able to come in and make sure your story is sound, because that is the most crucial part of the whole movie. Even if it looks great and it sounds great and the music's awesome and the performances are good, if the story's terrible, it's just not going to work. So I feel like I would advise people like Markiplier, Chris Stuckman, as they go forward and presumably make other movies, is like, you don't have to write the script just because you're also directing it. You can have ownership of it. You can mold the story. You can exercise your vision without like writing every individual line of dialogue, because you wind up with 40 pages in the middle of your movie that you don't need to be there at all. You can just kind of, just move on. You can make it an hour and 20 minutes. It doesn't need to be 2 hours and 10 minutes. But those are my thoughts on Iron Lung. And Sam, I'm assuming those are your thoughts on Iron
Yeah.
Lung?
That's all. That's my thoughts, basically. It was okay. It was pretty cool. I would say it's like a 5 out of 10. Like, obviously, like, it's very limited in what it is capable of doing,
Right.
just purely off the basis of what they had to work with. But I think with everything going against it, this is probably the best that they could have put together. Like, I don't see a lot of... I mean, obviously, they could have cut it down. But if they wanted to release a big theatrical movie, this is probably the best way they could have gone about it with this setup.
No, my main takeaway is this was a really solid effort. It's really cool that it's doing well. It's awesome the amount of money it's making, and super good for Markiplier, who's now making like $10 million of profit on this thing. But my hope with this is that these guys get a real studio behind them and real money and real backers, and they get to make something bigger where they can fully exercise their
Another
vision.
big cool thing.
Yeah, and they can make better stuff, because that's obviously what you want people to be able to do, is make better, bigger movies for a wider
Like, I could totally see Blumhouse just kicking him $30 million and seeing what he does with it.
Probably not 30. I don't know if they'd be willing to do that yet, but 15, 20 is perfectly reasonable.
I mean, what's the movie made so far? Like 20 million.
I think it's
right?
made. I
Something
think
like
it's
that.
probably up to 30 something worldwide, which is crazy for a movie
like,
that wasn't even booked in over 1,000 theaters until like probably a week before it came out.
Yeah, like 2 weeks before its release.
It's at 37.2 right now. It's probably going to get to about 40 before it's done with its run, which is wild. That's crazy. That's more than the Margot Robbie, Colin Farrell romance movie from September.
All true
By a
statements.
YouTuber. All right. Sam, you got anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this up?
You
Want to do a last minute news sweep?
Let me check the group chat and see if there was any news stories that
Let's
I
check
wanted to talk about on there.
Twitter.
Oh,
Twitter.
we got the Sandawara movie with Michelle Yeoh, where she plays everyone.
Oh, is that the Sean Baker
That's-
short film?
Yeah, I was joking that looks like a very weird spin-off of Everything Everywhere All at Once, where she's like playing a bunch of different versions of herself.
Michelle Yeoh.
Um,
What are we doing, Michelle?
Paramount is still trying to buy Warner Brothers.
Yes. No,
Like-
I mean, nothing's really changed.
Bro, you guys
David
gotta
Ellis
give
is
up on
throwing
it.
a
It's not
fit.
happening.
Ted Sarandos went before the Senate for an antitrust hearing, and they proceeded to basically ask him no actual questions about the very clear corporate monopoly he's forming. Instead, Ted Cruz went out there and was like, "Are we on stolen land right now, Ted Sarandos? Are you going to put wokeness in our televisions?" He pulled that whole shtick. It was a farce. It was comical what they were doing.
It was not a real hearing.
No, it was not a real hearing. Because why would our government do
Disney-
any serious policy?
The new Disney board president wants to do AI movies.
We kind of talked about that. Oh,
Yay.
Disney is not going to do full AI
That's
movies
great.
anytime soon.
Yet.
What they're going to do is what most companies are already doing, and that is implement AI into mainly the post-production process. Into VFX.
I don't even know what.
Into VFX, into editing,
I could see them maybe doing that.
into sound
The
mixing.
movies that have done that so far, it still isn't very good.
They're not going to start with like all the VFX are going to be AI. They're going to allow the CG people to use AI to speed up their process. It's already been a thing in filmmaking for a while. The Spider-Verse animators used AI software on that movie because there were characters that had textures on their suits and stuff that if they were to do it by hand would take like 10 times the amount of time.
That's not
what
the
they're
same
gonna
thing
do
as
right
like
now.
AI generating like a VFX shot. That's using frame interpolation
Right.
to just like
Well, it's
do
machine
texture
learning.
work. That's yeah.
It's all
those
AI.
are different things though.
Generative AI, which is like, they use, instead of we mocap artists like animate Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy, like we just put Groot in the scene into ChatGPT and we put it in. They're not going to start using that because it's not going to look good enough yet. They're going to start slowly working in smaller elements into movies over time. Not that they won't try to replace everyone with AI, which is clearly the goal. That is the end goal of all of this. How can we make these movies for almost no money and make maximum profit? That's what they're working towards.
Yeah.
But in the immediate future, it's not going to be like tomorrow all those people are put out of work.
Yeah. And then let's do the last check the tweeters real quick, see if anything broke while we
What
were
did you think
recording.
of the Bad Bunny halftime show? Did you switch over to the Real American
I
version?
thought it was fine. I don't know. It was pretty cool. I liked when he fell through the roof of the building. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought the production stuff was awesome. Like the
fact that a
the
real
camera
wedding
work.
happened.
Yeah, they did a real wedding. That was cool.
pretty sick.
I thought it was fine.
I honestly wish it was a little bit longer.
Yeah,
Like
I wanted him to pull.
Me and my friends were all watching it. We were kind of hoping there would be another like. I thought he was going to do a duet with Lady Gaga at some point. I was kind of disappointed that they didn't duet at all. Like she just sang a thing and he sang a thing.
Well, I was surprised because Lady Gaga came out and she sang a song that is a duet with the song that she sang when it was released like on streaming and was a duet with Bruno Mars. So I expected both of them to come out, and I was like, "Oh, we're gonna get Gaga and Bruno Mars. That's cool." But it was just Gaga.
It's just Gaga.
And so she sang a song that's a duet, but she sang it by herself, which was a little weird.
Yeah, that part was strange. I wonder if that just like fell through or something, and they weren't able to get Bruno Mars.
I wouldn't be surprised because I did feel like there would have been one. There should have been like one more guest.
Pedro Pascal was there.
That's true.
And
Jessica
I think
Alba.
Cardi B was there too.
Cardi B, yeah, who was dating.
There's some like random grab bag of celebrities.
Cardi B was there because she was dating one of the Patriots players.
I wasn't a huge fan of the set, the grass. I wasn't a huge fan of the grass.
Was cool. I like that it was all real
I think it is cool
costumes.
in concepts, but I think in terms of like visibility, it's kind of not great. Like it's just. I can imagine being in the stands and just not being able to see.
Oh, for the stands,
there's
yeah.
big grass people in your way.
I thought the camera work, how they were doing like the tracking shots through and gliding around, and then they
like the hedge maze stuff, that looked fine.
I thought that was.
And I think I was kind of waiting. I really liked the telephone poles.
Yes.
I think that was really cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
I was kind of hoping for more of that, like bigger set pieces like that. And I think the telephone poles were really cool. I was kind of hoping for like more of that.
Yeah.
But it was fine.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good. I don't understand. I mean, I know why people are mad at it, but like that's stupid and that's a dumb reason to be mad at it. And also we've had non-American bands and performers perform at the halftime show several times, and this guy is an American.
But it wasn't
so that
English.
Additionally makes no sense.
Donald.
Like what's it? The Rolling Stones.
Did you see
Not Americans. You too. Not American. No one complained about either of those.
Did you see Trump?
Kid Rock.
Did you see Trump's truth about it? Was he said not a single person understands what this guy's saying. And
yeah,
I was
no
like,
one
nobody?
speaks Spanish. That's not
no
real.
No one at all.
He was like these inappropriate dancers. They were like. The dancing was honestly like pretty. As far as halftime shows go, pretty tame.
Remember Shakira and J-Lo did like a full. Shakira also not American, like did it 6 years ago.
Yeah.
They did like a full like stripper pole act like 6 years ago. But
yeah. Rihanna also I think is from
she might be Canadian.
I don't. No. She's not Canadian. It's not Guatemala. I think it starts with a G.
Joe, she's from Barbados.
Where's Rihanna from? Barbados. Yeah, she's from. Yeah, she was born in Barbados. Like, we've had people from around the world perform at the halftime show, and it's never been a problem until
I think his
today,
truth,
I guess.
I think he prepped that ahead of time. I think he just had it ready to go before the game even started.
Because they were just outraged for him.
Because it was super vague.
No one was actually. Dude, even freaking. He who shall not be named was like, yeah, the Bad Bunny one was better. I'm a loser for complaining about this. Spider-Man Noir got a first look.
Oh right, yeah, we know Sandman is gonna be in it.
Yeah, which I think is a really cool villain for this version of Spider-Man.
Cool. Do we know when this is coming out?
Because I think it's coming out in the spring. They said spring. They haven't given us an exact date, but it'll be out spring this year.
Nope, no date at all. Just as 2026.
Yeah. I really like the look of it so far.
On MGM Plus. So we're all gonna have to buy MGM Plus.
We'll find it somewhere. But
Can't believe that's a real.
I think
service.
having Sandman, I think that they're kind of going for like a Clayface angle there, like the same thing that DC is going to do with Clayface later this year, where he's kind of like a horror, more like a horror type creature, which I think is a really cool idea. Paramount is opening 3 Ninja Turtles pizza restaurants
They're
instead of finishing their movie.
Oh no, they're doing 2 movies now.
Yeah, but one of them.
They're trying to make that
Yeah.
a big. They've said explicitly they want that to be a Sonic the Hedgehog level brand for them.
Apparently, people are not liking Wuthering Heights.
I'm interested. I'm seeing it on Thursday. We'll find out.
The Mist is getting an adaptation by Mike Flanagan.
Yes.
He's going to write and direct Stephen King's The Mist for Warner Brothers.
Okay, Mike.
As you guys know, I'm the D1
Sam loves
Stephen
Stephen
King
King.
hater. Nobody hates on Stephen King for less of a reason than me, except for I've been vindicated because of the Epstein files. But
Well, and whatever. What was that tweet that you sent me?
where he was like, "I'm not in them, but don't." But or no, he was like, I don't even remember what it was. It was like,
I
I'm not
didn't
in
even
them, but we should all
understand
stop
what he meant
talking about them. It was so. I can probably find it, but the point is he said some incredibly strange things in regards to the Epstein files.
He's been having health issues like the past couple of years. I think that's clearly, if you read his Twitter, like he's clearly not
He
doing
just
well.
is
But,
clearly going through some
well,
stuff.
he's 80 years old also. He's
Yeah.
an old man who lives in the woods by himself.
He like is regularly beefing with people on Twitter all the time.
Yeah.
It's very
So,
strange.
Mike, I love Mike Flanagan. Like, he's one of my favorite working writer-directors. Midnight Mass is one of my favorite things ever made. And I'm a big King fan, like in terms of the books. The projects he's working on right now are the Exorcist sequel, which he's about to start shooting, which has an A-list cast for absolutely no
Oh, I forgot
reason.
about the Life of Chuck.
Have you
I
seen
still
the?
haven't seen that.
Have you seen the cast for the new Exorcist movie?
No.
Scarlett Johansson is the lead. Like, they're making an Exorcist movie with like an A-list, like full movie star. Lawrence Fishburne is gonna be in it. Chiwetel Ejiofor is gonna be in it. It's crazy. I don't know what that is, but
That could be cool.
he's making that. He's doing a Carrie TV series, which is weird.
Carrie? Oh,
The psychic
the
girl,
prom?
yeah, which is another King thing. Which I'm already iffy on that because that original movie is it's a classic.
Yeah, I remember it
horror
being
movie.
really, really wonky.
And then same with The Mist,
I
where
remember
it's
the blood thing.
The Mist is like that movie that's already been adapted into a movie. Frank Darabont made it probably 20 years ago at this point, but it's great.
Mhm.
So obviously he's great at King. He's done it numerous times, and he's a super talented writer director. I just find it weird that he's making adaptations of King stuff that's already been made.
And there's
has been made
so
well,
much King
and there's
content
so much
you
stuff
could
that's never
do.
been adapted. I don't know
That
why
guy
he's
never stops making things up.
Well, he signed on to do a Dark Tower TV series a couple years ago, and I was like, that sounds great.
I thought that they decided to not do that after the movie did really well.
Well, the movie did really well, but the movie was also like not an adaptation. It was like a quasi sequel. So if you just adapt the novels to TV and it's him doing it, that sounds awesome. But apparently that's
Yeah.
on the back burner, and a lot of this other stuff has moved ahead. So it'll probably be good because it's Flanagan, but questionable decision.
Stranger Things is releasing their play onto Netflix, which they should have done already because it contains all of the lore that you need to know to understand anything that's happening in the 5th season of the show.
Yeah, I don't know why they're doing this now. They should have done this. Like
This should have
months
just
ago.
been the 5th season of the show.
Well, do you know what happens in the play? Because I read the Wikipedia summary after part 1 of season 5 came out because I was like, is this important? Do I need to know this?
Yes, yeah. All of Vecna's backstory
Is in the
this.
play, yeah. All the
Yeah.
stuff with the cave and the high school and
Including all of the
and
like
Joyce and all that.
interpersonal dynamics between all of the parents, which affects their
it has
lives
one of
up
my
until the
favorite-
times of the show.
It has one of my favorite prequel staples, which is all these characters actually knew each other when they were kids, but they just never bring it up when they're adults.
Well, we never really see them interact that much in the actual show,
Well,
like the parents at least.
we know that Joyce knew Henry Wheeler when they were both in high school, And in
Yes,
season 4,
yeah.
when they find out that that's the same guy, you think she'd be
She
like,
doesn't really
oh,
seem to care
crap,
that much.
that's the kid.
Oh yeah,
that's
that guy
the weird
from high
kid
school
my
who
high
went
school."
missing. What a weird, jeez.
Nope.
Oh, strange.
She's just like, oh, I forgot.
But yeah, so like the thing in the cave with that's in the play.
Yeah, it's in the play.
Yeah, like, and the whole, his feelings towards humanity, him getting, like, in the play, it's much more overt that he is, like, corrupted by
The magic rock.
the mind flare, more so than in the show where they try to play it off as, like, they were kind of filet-a-doing each other, where they're, like, spiraling into hatred. No, in the play, it's a little bit more sympathetic towards Henry. But yeah, no, that is like probably the single most important chunk of the story in terms of understanding the villain, and it just has been completely inaccessible.
Well, it's also strange because they're just
all of the time.
The announcement was that they were going to tape it. Like, they're just now going to go film the Broadway version currently on stage.
Yeah, it will be filmed.
It's not like they've been sitting on this for like 2 years and they're going to release it. They still have to go shoot it. Like, this was a decision they made recently that they were even going to do this at all.
So you guys are aware of how crucial this thing is to the lore of this show. When they're doing the memory thing, when they're like going through Vecna's memories, there are memories that they go in that are scenes from the play.
Right.
Like, that is how heavily tied together, like, they directly correlate with each other, and it's just is not been a viewable piece of media outside of the UK for the entire time that this has existed.
I understand why the thinking behind it, because they were like, we got to get people to buy tickets to the play, and if we film it and put it on Netflix, they won't see it, which is verifiably false, because, like, Hamilton still sells out shows. It's been on Broadway for a decade.
And it's been on Disney Plus for a very long time.
There's been a film version on there for half a decade, so that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But yeah, it's just odd to me. And it's also, I don't think this is coming out this year. I don't think they're going to drop it this year, because they already have the animated series coming out in April, I think. And
yeah, Tales of 85.
Yeah, and I think Netflix wants to sparse out the Stranger Things content.
The spin-offs, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll get, like, the cartoon this year. They'll put the play on there next year, and then the spin-off will maybe be ready for 28, and they'll just keep trying to pull stuff out to get this lasting as long as possible. Because obviously, if there's the one thing that people say about Stranger Things is that it hasn't been going long enough, we need even more, 15 more years of Stranger Things. That's what the people want. Not a satisfying conclusion.
Yeah. Let's see. We got some first looks at some One Piece live action characters. That's not super.
Is that coming out soon? Season 2?
Yeah, I believe that's Netflix's next big release.
They have a real down
is the
year
one
in terms of what
is the next the next chapter of One Piece live action.
Nope. I think we're done.
Anything else on here?
We will be back next week. Sam will see Wuthering Heights. He has to.
Yeah.
It's going to be a cultural... People are going to see it, Sam. You probably know people who want to see this movie.
I know at least 2 people who are going to see it.
You might as well just tag along.
One of them is not seeing it willingly, so...
Well, be there to support them. It's not 3 hours long. I'm not asking you to sit through Titanic.
Yeah, it's not super long. I just, I don't know. It's a weird movie to get people to go see.
Pre-sales are great, though. I think it's going to be a big hit.
Yeah, because it's coming out on Valentine's Day weekend. And that's why it's getting good pre-sales.
Charlie XCX is doing the music. You love Charlie XCX.
I remember that she makes music.
But yeah, that'll be next week. We'll probably
She did Brat Summer.
She did Brat Summer.
Kamala Harris, Brat Summer.
We also, if Sam finishes Wonder Man, we'll probably talk about that a little bit more next week.
Yeah, I'll probably have done by next week.
Story things, and then 97 Kingdoms, 2 episodes left. I wanted to check in this week, but I think we're just gonna wait for the whole season to wrap up so we can just get all our thoughts.
It doesn't move super quickly, it's But every episode does feel like a satisfying
episode of television.
Episode. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be back next week for all that stuff. And then whatever news happens, whatever goes on this week in the wild world, maybe Paramount will finally get them. Maybe Ellison will finally do it this
maybe
week.
they'll finally find the magic number that makes the deal happen.
Maybe Bob Iger will have to come back to Disney for a third time. Anything can happen.
Hey, you know, third time's the charm.
That's right.
Maybe they'll find another Bob.
Dude, here's
the secret third Bob.
Josh Tomorrow tanks. Bob Iger has to come back. Disney buys Warner Brothers.
Wait.
Random out of left field purchase.
Hang on, I have a
What you got?
How many billionaires named Bob are there?
Is that even a thing you can Google?
What is Robert Dugan? What does he do?
Robert Dugan probably owns a pharmaceutical
He's an American
company.
billionaire and entrepreneur. He owns a pharmaceutical company.
Yep, called it. Summit Therapeutics.
He could become the next CEO of Disney.
It's
got to be a Bob. Like I assume it's got to be a Bob. There's Robert Herjavec. He's an investor. He was on Shark Tank. He does TV. Ooh. He's a TV guy. He could become the next CEO. There's Robert E. Rich Jr. Dude, like you can't.
Oh, come on, Bob Rich?
For real? That's your name's Bob Rich.
He's a CEO. Right, his name is Bob Rich.
He owns a food processing. Now this is AI. This one could be made up because this doesn't sound real. But he owns a food processing company. He's been inducted into multiple halls of fame, including the Frozen Food Industry Hall of Fame, which I'm just learning. Of Fame? Apparently, he was born in 1941, so he's the right age.
Is the Frozen Food Hall of Fame? Is this
guy real?
Is that in a walk-in
fridge?
This
guy real?
There's no way that's
this
real.
Guy can't be.
All right.
Oh, he's a real guy. Yeah, no, he's a real guy.
We will see you all.
He's 85.
Next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.